Viewer discretion is advised.
First day on the job, and he's 6 years old, and he's scratching his neck, and he's lived in a pea house for like his whole life.
Mandate.
Welcome to Mandate, where we navigate fresh perspectives and nothing's off the table. Tonight's guest hails all the way from Manarua, Ruahard, and Tamakimakoru, but also Taranaki. Taranaki is a special place in his heart, and also the man has a plethora of content. And so what I mean by content, I'm talking about creative content. The man is the creator of the TimProvise project, which is his own podcast. He's also the creator of the Bakery Runs, which is on social media platforms. The man is also a comedian. The man is also... He's also on radio, the airwaves. Is a familiar voice on New FM, on the Morning Shack, and also the man is on TV on The Crowd Goes Wild. And so please put your hands together for this creative genius that is TimProvise.
Oh wow, man! Yo, that's crazy. Like when you went through all that, I was like, damn, that's a lot. Like, I've never had anybody do that to me. Like, I'm normally that person that has to do that, right? He's like, oh, this person is da. But yeah, bro, when you broke it down like that, I was like, damn, I've been pretty busy. Sheesh.
Bro, you're busy. You're a busy man. You're a busy man. And so just off the bat, Tim, because you're creative content and you're creative. And so out of all the creativity, how did it start? Because surely it must have started from somewhere in terms of your creativity.
Man, I just think like as a kid, I kind of always had that. I always had a mindset where I was like I would create things out of nothing. Like I would always kind of, sorry. I would always think about how if I had an opportunity, I could make it better. You know, like, oh man, if I was Wolverine, man, I would do this. Or if I was, and then I would write stories, and I would write a lot and draw and do all those, those things that kids do. But I just continued it on. Hey, like, yeah, as a youth, I just loved being able to, get some Play-Doh and mold something, and as an adult, it kind of didn't go away. So yeah.
Wow, and so it's kind of gone into social media and so forth.
Yeah.
And so how did that start in terms of?
Bro, I've always been a bit of a clown, eh? Like in class, I was always the funny dude, the guy that was always just cracking jokes. And I was I played basketball for a long time and coached, and I was always the funny dude in the team. And then that started and. And then that went off to Twitch. So Twitch was a part of my journey that kind of gave me skills that like I learned that I use today. So yeah, that kind of helped me out as well. So yeah.
My man.
Yeah, bro.
Damn. It's always crack up when I think back to like the people who were the funniest in class and like where that humor comes from. Was that like something in the home where like even at home you were cracking jokes and like having a bit of a laugh?
Yeah, I say this a lot, eh? Like, so I was brought up in like a solo mum. So my mum looked after me, like by herself, and never knew my dad. I talked to him like once, and that was it. And so my mum had to look after me from, and she was working 2 jobs at the time. She's a social worker. Pete knows who she is. And so she's a social worker, but as she was training to be a social worker, she was working other jobs. And so I had to stay home by myself, as a lot of us kids do. So I laugh at I say this a lot, but like my dad was like TV sitcoms and TV, those funny comedic things that were on at 5 o'clock, talking like Fresh Prince and all those real like those funny shows and cartoons. Like they were my babysitters, and I just kind of clicked on how to be a class clown and from that stuff. But I mean, it's always different for other people. But yeah, that's what really kind of taught me about a laugh and how to get one. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah. And just while you're on the topic, you mentioned cartoons. Oh, man. I'm curious because we grew up we're loving cartoons. What were some of your favorite cartoons?
Bro, I'm talking Animaniacs, my bro. I'm taking, we're talking Gargoyles, my bro. Okay, we're getting into that. We're getting into the goodies. Okay, like those ones. And, like Ninja Turtles. Bro, Ninja Turtles was my jam. I was like, I want to be Michelangelo, like legit. Like he was the funniest dude in the group, and he was the most charismatic, and he was all right with just being himself, you know what I mean? And when the others are trying to be tough and all that, he was cool with just being funny. And I always kind of levitated towards the funny ones or the villains that were funny in shows. So yeah, that kind of went there. And the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was like, yeah, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Martin were the ones that I would just watch religiously.
Which Ninja Turtles? You talk about the 90s?
We're talking about the
early ones.
the Ninja
back in the-
yeah.
With the Micah, because I remember them. Cowabunga, dude.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Bart Simpson too. Like Bart Simpson's another one too that I was just like,
Legend.
I would just watch, and he was the naughty kid, and he was funny, and yes, you know, before it got a little bit too like socially aware, when the Simpsons was just about jokes and stuff like that. So yeah, I used to just watch them, and just that would look after me until my mum got home at like 6, 7, 8 o'clock, and then have, you know, as you do as a kid, you know, you sort out your dinner, and then you go to bed and rinse and repeat. Yeah, and then video games came in, and that was a wrap after that. Yeah, Alex the Kid was my other babysitter. Sorry. It's Alex Kid. It's not Alex the Kid. Okay, just for anybody that's like, no, it's Alex. Yeah, so Alex Kid, and then Street Fighter was a babysitter for me too. Yeah.
But isn't it interesting, Tim and Jay? Because, you know, people say nowadays if you have kids on devices, they, oh man, it's dangerous. You know, you shouldn't be doing that to the kids. Yeah. You know, they're always on it for hours. But we and you're right, because I think back in our days, you know, hey Jay, and we were watching TV, and when devices kind of came out. Before then, TV was kind of like the. Yeah, you know, it was still, some of the programs were still homely, still family kind of programs, still kind of clean, the funny comedy and all that kind of stuff.
And it's, I mean, yeah, you know, you learn some moral stuff from, you know, like some TV shows. Like Fresh Prince taught me like heaps, you know, especially around, you know, because Uncle Phil was, you know, not his dad, but you know, and there's that J. Cole lyric that's like. His dad was, you know, about rest in peace, Uncle Phil. Like it was, he's the only father that I ever knew. That's what it was, and it's this kind of same thing with me. Like I would just, you know, watch that. I would watch a lot of it, like movies as well, and yeah, a lot of basketball movies were my jam. But yeah, so growing up, but yeah, bro, yeah.
Because when did you know, Tim? When did you know, like, you know what, I'm such a creative person. I'm really actually good at this,
bro. Like man, no lies. It would have been like after, I know this is going to sound a bit real, but I think probably after maybe the 3rd episode of Bakery Run came out. Like I knew I was funny, but I didn't know like people fucked with it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought, yeah, I'm just being a funny idiot. But it was like oh no, that's a lie actually. I did switch, and then that made me go, oh yeah, other people relate with this. So I just kept doing it. But I mean, in terms of just being funny, yeah, I can't really knuckle it down to one thing. It's probably just a collection of stuff. But yeah, as a kid in school, probably like maybe year 11, year 10, you know, when I started hanging around a lot of funny people, and you know, when they mock you, and you're like, oh yeah, gotta mock it back somehow. So yeah, that's how it all. You know, you fellas know. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens at James Cook.
Yeah,
shout out to my JC boys.
Man, you know, and comedy is so subjective, and everyone's always got an opinion on what's funny and what's not funny. And I suppose today, comedy's in a strange place with cancel culture and all that sort of stuff. What was it like, you know, on Twitch and sort of that comedy, but in an online realm, and sort of some of the feedback you'd get? Would you ever be confronted by trolls and haters and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I think like coming back to the Twitch thing. So Twitch, for those people that don't know, is an online platform where you can live stream games or whatever you want to do on it, and you know, it's open platform, so anybody can comment on what you're doing. And it really did hone my skills. Like I'm very, very thankful for what I had to go through. And I say what I had to go through on Twitch. I was on Twitch for 4 years, and being able to, you know, it's one of those things where you kind of have to make everybody happy, and you figure out real quick that you can't. And I think on Twitch was, you know, like I got confronted quite a lot about, it's quite a toxic place. Like a lot of people kind of, you know, because it's a competition for some people, like on views and things like that, and it does get a bit nasty. But I knew that if I just kept my content, I always said this thing, and I was like, just as long as I'm running my own race, I'll be all right. You know, just as long as I'm focusing on getting better and being who I can be, the best person I can be. Doesn't matter who I'm running against. As long as I'm running my race, I should be fine. And I think that's what kind of I learned on that hustle and bustle of having to be live every day, you know, and on top of that, work a full-time job and do everything else from it. So yeah.
Oh man. Was there ever a time where you felt like, man, just this person is ever trolling? Because I can imagine there'd be a lot of trolls and a lot of people negative comments. And was there ever a time like, man, shucks, I want to actually talk to this person, man.
Oh man,
I want to hit this person up, man.
I've had plenty of times like that, and I have like I'm the type of person that if there's an issue, like I'm not worried about the conflict because I want to just get down to the gist of it and what's going on. And I don't mean conflict like physically. I want to know like, hey, what did I do? Like, how can we fix this? Because but at the end of the day, it's kind of like everybody online's got like, it's almost, I don't want to say everybody, but majority of people online, they feel a bit invincible sometimes, and you just have to kind of be. I mean, it multiplied a lot once the bakery run started popping a bit, and then all the other things. But yeah, it did give me some training, of dealing with people that are trolling. But I mean, I say that, but man, I cannot even imagine what like female social media people would be like. Like I'm like, what did you say about my shoes? And I'm like, who cares? Like these female like this wahine that are online that are just getting scolded for like, I don't know, showing some belly. I'm like, damn. Yeah, so I always think like that. I'm like, man, I've got it easy compared to some of these others that have this going on. So yeah,
bro, that's good, man. That's good, bro.
Yeah,
man. I heard that you used to be a teacher, and as someone who's about to step into that field myself,
for real?
Yeah. Next year I'm in my final semester, so a few more assignments, and then I'm booked to start at a school in Papakura next year. So I'm really excited for it. But I'm curious to hear a little bit about how that came to be, and maybe some insight from your experience.
Yeah, so I worked. It's a long story, I suppose, but I worked at Whakataka Pokai, which is it's the residential for naughty kids, and I was there for 5 years of my life, from 20 to 25, and when I started working there at 20, we were getting kids and they were 18, like I was 2 years older than them, and it was an eye opener, especially at that time of my life, where I thought life was just about going to the clubs on Saturday, like, just wait for the dole day to come through and borrow some money from the bros if I need some, and scab at drinks at the clubs. And then, like I was that guy. And when I started work at SIFS, it like changed how I saw the world, with these kids that are just, and really in trouble, and being part of the, I'm not even gonna. I wasn't gonna say being part of the solution, because it's not even that. Like it's deeper than that. Like there's no way that the institutionalization of kids is a solution to anything. And then I was there, and then I saw some things there that are, were really concerning in terms of just life. Like I had my daughter, and I was looking after girls at the residence that were, in real dire need, and kind of, I was like, man, I need to spend more time with my daughter, and then I needed a game plan, and so I was like, well, I'm really good at talking with kids, and I was coaching basketball at the time as well, and I was very successful at that time with coaching, and I was like, man, well, I might as well use these skills that I have and get a degree. And so then I did my 3 years, and then that's cool. Yeah, man, that working at Whakataka Pokai, oh man, it was rough, bro. I mean, bro, like that in YJ and Korowai Manaki, very rough job, and but yeah, just opened your eyes to a lot of things. Yeah.
Especially in the 454, man.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Hold up, dude. Like, I'm from the 454. I'm from Clinton, but you go in there and these kids from Wairoa, Poreroa, like the like gang affiliated kids, that like heavily gang affiliated kids, and they're like 6, 7, 8 years old. Kids that are. I remember, like, this is a true story. My first, and I it's funny. Like I do some kōrero and some talanoa about, what I'm up to. And this is one of the jokes that I put in, but it wasn't actually a joke. It was for real. First day I was there was Christmas Eve, and there was a boy, and can't really say his name, But I walked in and, because life's all good for me. It's like, oh yeah, I'm getting paid to just look after some kids. And first day on the job, and he's scratching he's 6 years old and he's scratching his neck, and he's lived in a pea house for like his whole life, right? And this kid is just, he's on the come downs because he's with us for the first week, and to sit there and see a 6-year-old go through that and go, damn, like, what is that? What is actually up in this world? And that really did open my eyes a lot. And that was my first day, and it was the first day of 5 years of dealing with that stuff. So, you see some real conflicting things around what you thought life was about. And it was rough, but I tell you what, it taught me behavior management like a motherfucker. Like when I got to an actual classroom, no kids would mess with me because my behavior management skills and my ability to read a situation without the body language. 5 years of always having to be on edge. Some kids, have stolen a knife and you don't know which kid it is, or one kid's, there's a plot to steal your keys, that kind of stuff. It wasn't me, but it was others, because I was bro, he's all goods. Yeah, but so that is one thing. And engagement, the biggest thing, and this is true, man, the biggest thing I learned from working at SIFs at the time was being able to engage. Like I learned how to engage with people and engage with kids, and extremely well, like almost too well. And I got that from my mum as well. My mum working in youth as well, so I got to kind of learn how to engage and how to get buy-in. That's what it's called. You get instant buy-in, getting them to buy into what you have. And I was kind of I was in the hyperbole chamber when it comes to that. Looking after kids. It's crazy. Yeah.
Because obviously, 5 years you would have learned, like you say, you've learned heaps in terms of some of, and also our young boys. What were some of the common themes or the recurring themes that you kind of notice besides the gang affiliation and all that kind of stuff? What was something that you felt like, man, this needs to be rectified or needs to be refined? That's
a great question, Pete. I think the one thing that I figured out is that the most important the most important ingredient, especially with our boys, our youth, our young men, is just caring. Like, I don't think, like, it's caring and structure. As they knew that you cared about them and you proved to them, a lot of those kids that have been through the system, they've had, that's the cool thing about them too, man, is their bullshit meter is so good. They know if you're talking bullshit. Like, I guarantee you get a kid from Porirua, you get a kid from Clendon, they'll be able to identify straight away, that dude's all bullshit. That guy's, he wants to do stuff, he's trying to hustle me. And the minute that you can reassure them that, hey man, I've proved my worth to you, and you have to prove it to them. Like, that's the thing, is to get that buy-in, you have to prove it to them that you're not here to take advantage. You're not here to tell them we're here to work together, and I'm talking with you, not at you. Like that thing as a parent is something that I learned real quick, is that if I'm going to talk to a young person, I'm going to talk with them. I'm not going to talk at them. And I think a lot of our parents, and including myself at times, we forget that, is they're talking with our kids instead of talking at them, saying, you need to pick it up. You need to pick up your undies on the floor, and say, hey, these undies on the floor, they're going to get stink, all right? If you don't pick them up and put them away, they're going to get all stale, and then we're going to buy some more undies. That the difference between pick your fucking undies up, which is the quick way of doing it. But I think that's one thing I learned. But structure's another thing too. Like, I think, like, all of them, any kids that came into SIF's care, when I was there, they love structure. They love to know when dinner is. They love to know when that is, because they never had that before. They ain't never had that. They didn't know when dinner was coming. They didn't know if dinner was coming. But if they knew, hey, 8 o'clock's dinner, this is going on here, this is going on, it puts them in, it takes a little bit of anxiety away from what's happening next. So, yeah, that's something that I learned as well from her.
Oh man, that's rich, man. That's rich. That's awesome.
You fellas thought we were coming on to eat pie, talk about pies, eh? Let's go,
Man, that's the
my boy's got some knowledge. Let's go.
the boys have some pros of wisdom, man. My man.
Nah, let's talk about pies, man. Fuck all that shit. Where's the best pie? Oh shit.
Oh, bro.
Sorry, man.
That's too good, man.
Oh man, it's crack up because my wife follows the bakery run.
Why don't you follow it? That's what I want to know, bro. That's what I want to fucking know.
I'm not very active on social media, so she was always like, it's funny you say that because that was when I was like, oh man, what would you ask? She was right away was like, what was the best pie you ever had? And I was like, I'm sure he gets it a lot, but
A lot, bro. I get it on the daily,
Every day, man. Every day, man.
I get it nearly on the daily. Hey, it's yeah, but. Oh, we'll get to that later. We'll get to that. But yeah, bro. Yeah. So growing up in that was a very pinnacle moment in my life. Is the working at SIFs and doing 5 years of just grinding and seeing things that people aren't supposed to see. And seeing kids and you know what? One of the biggest lessons I also learned from that is that and it's really simple, but it's not their fault. Like, I used to get so angry at some of these kids, like, fuck, bro, I don't fucking know. But then I would just have to tell myself, it's not their fault. Like, it's not them. It's their products of their environment. And the product is them, and the environment wasn't the greatest thing. So it's not in my nature to judge on that, because it is. I had to condition myself to think that. And I mean, with youth in youth justice and just in youth work in general, is that you have to kind of almost eliminate the problem from the person, because the problem happened and people make mistakes all day. Yeah. And I think a great person that you guys had on was Dre Skrilla. He's a perfect example of that. If you eliminate, if you just see him for, his what happened or what he looks like, you'll think, but when you get to know him, he's one of the most insightful, articulate brothers that I've ever come across as well. So yeah,
that's so true, so true.
I was curious about through your experience working with SIFs and that. If you were in charge of the system, like how effective do you think it is? And you mentioned before that you're not it's not part of the solution, and you don't believe in like institutionalizing kids isn't really a solution. So what would be a solution that comes to mind, or something you've probably thought about before?
Yeah, I think a lot of the whare tapawha model from Mason Jury. So I think you've been doing philosophy, haven't you, my bro? You've been in there, haven't you? Psychology, haven't you, my bro?
Or part of the
psychology 202, bro. Hey. Yeah, Mason Jury, and then the wheke one. Who's the wheke one, bro?
It's a wheke. I know it's a health model. I can't remember who
There's
came
8
up
of
with
them.
it.
But yeah, the whare tapawha, I think, especially around Hauora, especially around our Māori, because I mean, if we look at our incarceration rates, it's crazy. Like it's almost racist. Sorry, it is racist, but you know what I'm saying? It's almost like blatantly racist. But it's because of it's our tangata Pacifica, it's our tangata Moana that are getting, it's our people that are locked up because, we haven't been holistically going about it the right way. It's been a very colonized, this is what works in here, this is what works with these people. It's one size fits all, and it's a hard, you can't just do one, like this will fix it. But I think if we really focused on, our whānau and spirituality and knowing who you are as a person, and also just, your mental and your physical health, I think, we could. I think they're trying to go that way, but it needs to be for Māori, by Māori, and for Pacifica, by Pacifica. So I think, it's all right to tokenize it and say this is what we're doing, but you got to live it, And I think the people in the higher ups are, having a good think about that. So, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Look at this political Tim came out. Tim, man. Came from pie Tim, political Tim,
Layers,
bro,
Principal Timmy,
bro. Let's get into the what's next, bro.
But you bring a good point, Tim, in terms of our men being incarcerated, more so our tangata whenua, our Pacifica men, and you've seen it firsthand with the SIFs and also some of the young people you work with, but also in the schools now, would you think there's a big difference in terms of the kids who come to SIFs or go into alternative education, all that kind of stuff, as opposed to the kids that are in the actual schools right now in the system? Do you think there's, in terms of our young boys or even some of our young men, what are your thoughts in terms of, is there a bit of a difference there, or are we all in the same kind of linear?
Yeah, I think it's all the same. Like I mean, the kids that being a teacher, you know, you get your naughty kids. Like, I don't want to say, you know what? I don't like using that term, naughty kids. I just think they're just misunderstood. And same thing at child youth event. Oh, well, it's, you know, same thing at whakatakopoka and that stuff. They're just misunderstood, man. And like I said earlier, they're just products of the environment. And, you know, one person, we're all, you know, you might have one kid that's, you know, he's misbehaving, but there's a reason why. And we got to look at those reasons and try and justify how we can make change to those reasons. And that's really what it's about, you know. Yeah,
man. It's quite sad, Tim? Because those boys will eventually going to be young men. And it's kind of the cycle just carries on. Yeah. So what are your thoughts in terms of how do we kind of break that cycle?
I think it's great teachers. I think it's like my bro here. It's great teachers. Yeah. It's great mentors. It's great coaches. It's great people around. And it's that ability to reach out and do something, you know, like it's you know, and really get into it and understand the amount of kids I've changed. And, you know, it's funny, like, you know, it comes off like quite... I think we need to get away with this, get away from this as well, is that when you've done a good thing, you fucking hype it up, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not even lying. I've changed. I think I've changed and saved at least 100, 200 young people's lives just from smiling and saying what's up and asking them what they're into and taking time out of my life to help them and be with them, you know? And I think, you know, a lot of people... they pretend that they're busy, and you know, we're all busy in our lives, but sometimes we just pretend, like, just so we can avoid things. And yeah, but I mean, basketball coaching is my passion. Like, I love the game. I love the game of basketball, and coaching, you know, representative internationally and nationally as well. It really makes you think, like, some of those kids, especially in the counties teams that I took on, James Cook teams, Papakura High School teams, all these teams I had, there's some kids that could have easily fallen off. And, you know, I created my own gang, and it was the basketball gang, and they need to come to training, and they need to come to the games. And that's how you know, that's how you make change, man, is create these opportunities for them to feel wanted.
Yeah, props to you, man.
It's basketball, Tim. Oh, sheesh.
Bro.
Holy hiccup.
It's Phil Jackson.
I met Phil Jackson, bro.
Bro, no. Have you?
Bro, you don't underestimate me, brother. Bro, I met him once, bro. He's fucking tall as shit, bro.
Well, how tall is he?
He's like 7, I think he's like 6'10", 6'11".
Oh, that's crazy.
Jeez. But yeah,
I went all around the world for basketball, man.
Yeah, so what made you get into basketball? Was it just
Bro, my mum wouldn't let me play league, eh? I played league, and because here's the thing, right? She didn't have a car. My mum, she had a car, like, when we were a bit older, she didn't have a car, so she was just catching a bus everywhere. And I wanted to play league, and then she took me to the I don't think it's called the Marlins then, but to the Manireo team, and I broke my collarbone. And she's like, I can't drive you to the A&E, man. You're gonna have to get on the bus. And it was at night time. She was like, you're gonna have to handle it until tomorrow. And then I broke my collarbone, and then I broke man. And then basketball, the Clean Rec Center was walking distance to my house. Yeah. And I was like 7 years old, and so that's how I started. Yeah. Bro. And I love it, bro. I love the game, bro. Like, it's taken me all around the world, like, seriously, like, and I'm so thankful for what it's done for me. It saves me, man. Like, legit, I had, you know, it was my babysitter as well. Like, yeah. Once I figured it out, yeah.
Man, so what kind of teams were you? Would you be like pro, like
junior tall. I was the assistant coach for the junior tall blacks once, twice actually. Assistant coach for junior tall ferns with Jody Cameron. National. I went over to North Carolina to do some, you know, some stuff at their camps. Philadelphia 76ers, I did a little bit of work over there. So yeah, I've been around, brother. It's basketball Timmy's out here.
This guy, man. And I guarantee you, people are like, I don't know, Tim was a school teacher. I don't know, Tim was a basketball coach. And
Yeah, I'm pretty secret about it. But yeah, no. So like, so I started playing at about 6 or 7, and then as I was at school, you know, basketball was, that's why I went to school, was to have lunch,
play pool,
hang out with the girls, and play ball, man. And that's all I did with my boys. Shout outs to my bros. Shout outs to Brian. Shout outs to my bro Wayne. I just one of those of my guys.
Bro,
but yeah, and then I hurt my knee. I was playing some seconds of stuff. I popped my knee out, and then I was like, oh, I'll just do some coaching, and then it just kind of evolved from there. Yeah, did the representative stuff, counties, yeah, and all that. So yeah.
Bro, you're a man of many talents, man. What's going on here, man? Not a secret screw.
But people hate like watching games with me. I'm the
vocal.
worst. No, not vocal. I'm very like calculated. Like I'm like, you watch this. I'll lean over. I was like, you watch this. It's gonna be a weak side screen with a back cut, and
they do it.
The predictions.
Sometimes I predict it. Yeah, I love the game very. Yeah, I love it. I love watching it from a statistical standpoint. Yeah, and I've been to India, been to Guam, Japan. Bro, I'm very, very lucky.
You know what's so cool, Tim? I think because a lot of people come on, not a lot of people, but I'm thinking of some people or some individuals, and they have some really good intentions. You know, like, oh man, this is what I want to do and all that, and just going back to like you're saying with SIFs and working with the young people and the kids, and they come with really cool intentions or even just goals, but for some reason, those intentions don't meet the actual,
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
It's that if you want to be an all-star, but you don't want to put in the all-star work, you know what I'm saying? And bro, I'm a firm believer on that. And I learned all that through the game, like really. Because basketball is a game where you can get exposed real quick if you're not good. Like, and if you're not willing to put the work in, it's very, very easy to get exposed. And it's at the higher levels too, like, and I learned that. Yeah, a lot of people say, man, you're a really hard worker, Tim, but I'm actually like, I just kept doing what worked for me. Yeah, and I got to all these places because I just worked and just didn't make excuses and just went with it.
Right, man. I'm glad you said that, because I think some people might think, oh man, that guy's lucky. He's got a lucky break. He's funny, bit of content. Anyone can create content. Easy.
How many times do I get that about the bakery? Right? Oh, anybody can eat the pies. But no, it's it does take a little bit.
It's hard work, man. It's the grind, eh?
Yeah, and it's funny how many people, hit me up for plugs now. Oh, hey, bro, can you get me on this? Hey, can you talk to such and such? And I was like, well, actually, like, I had to work really hard to get that the ability to make friends or to network with people. Like, it's networking. Like, it's a lot of work. So, yeah, I only do it for some people, eh?
Oh, man. Thanks,
I got you, bro. I'll get Regan on here for you.
Man, how do you recharge your batteries then? How do you stay with so many things going on? How do you keep it all enjoyable?
Okay, I reckon I might have ADHD. I reckon I've never been like tested for it, but I've never hit a wall like that. Like, a lot of people go, oh, I'm burnt out and stuff. I've worked so hard. Like, when I was doing the podcast stuff, I worked so hard to try and burn out. But I would burn out, I want to break, but it just never happened. I don't know if it's luck. I don't know what it is, but I just work. I just keep going. And I honestly think it's like the people that I looked up to as a kid, like your Mikes, like your Kobe's, like all those dudes, you'd see that they were just built, like they were wired differently. Yeah. And then I'm like, I want to be wired like that. And then I would just keep going until I would get think that, but yeah, I think video games is probably a escapism for me, I suppose. And yeah, because I can't even watch movies, man. Like, I can't watch movies. I watch, unless it's like really, I'll watch a movie and I'll be like, nah, okay, I'll move on. I'll watch something else. I'm just really on edge all the time. And it pisses Regan off more than anybody. Because Regan, I'm like, no, we need to do this, da-da-da-da. And he's like, bro, just relax, bro. And I'm, no. And Regan's, so the people that, he's just the norms, or he's on, I work with on the radio. But yeah, I think if you love something enough, and I did hear a Kobe quote, he's like, that's what separates the greatest is the love. If you really love something enough, like, it doesn't even feel like work, but you actually have to love it. It's not like just say that I love it. You have to really feel it. It's an internal thing. And I love being funny. I love creating content. And no, that's a lie. I don't love creating content. I love creating ideas and seeing them through. Like, yeah. And I don't know a lot of people that they kind of do that.
Bro, you're breaking all the myths, man. People think, man, don't tell the kids don't watch too much TV or on the devices. You did the opposite.
Yeah.
And then
Stuff all your parenting advice. Listen to me.
And then people are working too hard. Oh, I just work harder. It's like,
I know,
it's crazy.
I know, it's weird. I know it sounds like very Gary V-ish of me.
Yeah, getting
But
burnt out, you don't love it.
I just like being funny. And I have goals, and I know what I need to do to get to those goals, and it's just work. But I have like certain things that I'm like, this is the avenue I need, and I just what they call reverse engineering things, right? Is figuring out what you want to do, and then just breaking it down how to get there, and just engineering it from that standpoint. But yeah. I mean, like, I wanted to be like legit. I wanted to be a national coach. I wanted to coach at the highest level I could, and I kind of got there. Like, not to the biggest. I wasn't at the NBA or anything, but I got to where I thought I was successful. And when I was like, you know what, man, I've done a great job there. It's time to move on and do something differently. And that's how I moved from the coaching side of things to the Twitch side, and then all the other things I've been doing.
That's remarkable, man, bro. This because you mentioned these Kobe and MJ, the mindset, and that must be your superpower, bro. In terms of you just keep going. It's like an ever ready kind of battery or rabbit. And so the mindset, you talk about the Mamba, Black Mamba, and so for you, because you seem like you're the kind of guy like, hey, I'm just always on the go. Where did they come from? Is it from mom, or is it from just you? You just
I think about, like, I grew up watching my mum work 2 jobs and me having to sort myself out. But I think I got it really early in terms of like watching how somebody did something and then like not going, I want to like I would look at Mike and I'll be like, oh man, like Michael Jordan, and I'll be like, bro, I want to dunk like this. Like, bro, you're not going to do that. But what about this guy? What about that guy? Like growing up, like John Stockton was my dude. Like I would be like, yo, John Stockton, he doesn't jump high. But he loves the game. He understands his IQ is off the hook. So maybe that's what I have to do. So I went from worshiping MJ to having a look at someone like another one that was like John Starks. He was my guy. I was like, okay, well, he can dunk. So then I was like, I can't dunk, I'm too small. Then I went to John Stockton, and then Jason Williams was another like player that I was like, I want to be like this guy. So yeah, but I think I just figured it out earlier. Yeah, I suppose. Does that make any sense? Yeah,
that's cool, man. I think the earlier, because it's interesting, Tim, because some kids, they're very talented, and you obviously you work with young people for many years, and you kind of see the talents or the potential in some of these young people. And it's not until later on. And the hope is that they grasp the concept, or they grasp that, oh man, I'm really actually good at this. And so how important is it for some of our boys, and even some adults, Tim, to get that affirmation? Or do you think affirmation is just too, I don't know, in a kind of in a polite way, too like soft for our men, our boys?
I agree. I think some people are, it's just the way of the world, I suppose. People are just looking for the quick way to get where they want to get to. But it took me a while to figure it out. Like, if this is where you want to go and this is what you want to do, you just have to figure out little steps to get there, and then just work hard at the little steps. And it's just, there was this coach that Roy Williams, so he's the coach of University of North Carolina, and I got to spend a month with him, and he said, listen, he was talking about winning, and he goes, winning is just a byproduct of developing. If you develop, the winning will happen. But if you're not developing, nothing's going to happen. And then I took that to whatever I was doing. I was like, okay, I need to get good at this. If I want to win, like let's say Kroger's Wild Shit, right? Like, I've always wanted to be on a show like that, because I get to be myself, I get to muck around, I get to be a clown, and I get to be funny on a bigger scale, right? If I wanted to get on that, so I would cut that down. I need to be better of talking. So then I did the podcast, which made me better at talking, made me better at interviewing, and nobody paid for that. I did it myself. Like I was just like, give me a camera, give me a mic, give me Zoom. Let's get better at interviewing people. Then it was, I need to get more comfortable being on camera. And the bakery run stuff happened. And then I was like, cool, like, okay, now I'm getting better at being on camera. And then it was like, okay, I need to be funny. So what do I got to do? Okay, stand-up comedians are funny. I need to figure out how to be a stand-up comedian. And then I just slowly just ticked these little boxes off and got good at all those things. And I got like, being cocky and stuff, but I got like extremely good at like say interviewing because I just got obsessed with it and I just kept working at it. Yeah.
Man, that's it. I tell you what, Tim, because I knew you when you were younger. And I obviously I knew Mum.
Look at the say he's doing the old when you were back in the day to me.
When you were a little young buck.
Look at the say Pete's bringing out he's bringing out all the remember that time at the after ball when we had to pick you up? You had no undies on? Oh, what? No.
Oh, man. But I love it, Tim, because it's so cool because you're spitting facts and it's facts because you just can't do these things that all these goals that you want to do and all these dreams you have. You can't do it without the grind, eh? You can't do it without the work, without evolving, without developing. Yeah. And look at you. It was just, you were self-motivated.
I didn't need it. And that's the other thing too is like being in a team environment. So like, let's say the basketball thing, for instance. So I reckon I got as far as I could have with basketball, right? Because I saw a lot of opportunities were going to ex-players. So they were going to, like people that played for the Tall Blacks, people that played for National League. It was just the way that it worked. I'm not angry at that. That's how it worked, right? And so I was like, okay, I think if I would have grinded a little bit more, maybe something would have happened. But then I thought, okay, let's take these skills I already have of talking to people, building communities and building a unit together from basketball coaching, and let's see if I can do something else with it. And that's what worked out there. But yeah, it all comes from the grind, man. Like if you're not prepared to get your hands dirty and actually get ready and do stuff, then you can dream all day. Like you can. It's not a plan, It's just a dream. So yeah,
man, and that's straight facts, man. Tim, I think that's not even rocket science. You have to put in the work.
It's crazy though, right? You just think everybody would know that, but sometimes it's. I think it's just all distractions. Like a lot of people get distracted by things, and and life gets in the way. But and I mean, keep quoting Kobe, but like if you sign that contract, he says like if you sign that contract, bro, you better live by it too. And like if I signed like I'd have a look at a goal. And I'd say, how do I get to this goal? These are the steps I need to go. I got to sign this contract, and I can't go back on it, And I think that is what a lot of people kind of bounce out with, I signed the contract with myself, what Kobe said, but it's a matter of actually getting out and doing it, and so. Yeah, I try. It's hard. I say that, but when the contract is, I need to get fitter, go to the gym. Sorry, 2K NBA 2K just came out. Sorry, I can't get there. But I mean, if it's something else, so yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. We get what you mean.
Shout out to Nico, my personal trainer. Sorry, my bro, I let you down, my G. I let you down, my bro. Okay, I know you keep texting me, and I haven't hit you back, bro. But just know you're in my heart, bro. You're in the clouds. You're in the clouds, bro. On my next T-shirt, I'm gonna put you in the clouds, with the wings in the clouds.
with those veggie pies, eh? Veggie
pies. with the script out.
Bro. I was gonna ask, how do you sort of mentioned going as far as you can go, and then sometimes you recognize that, and then you can sort of take those skills and move on. But how do you recognize when you've gone?
That's a rough one, eh, bro? I had to have a good conversation. I had to sit down with myself, have a good conversation. And this is something that I do too. It's auditing yourself. You have to audit. Like you have to go, holy shit, like have I got okay, do I have everything that I need to get to this level? And you have to really audit. And if it's no, then do I want to put the work in to do extra? Like I would have, if I wanted to move on to more levels, it would have involved more time away from my family. It would have involved more grinding at a level that doesn't pay. you know. So so I just went, oh man, is this really what I want to do? And you know, I had a lot of people go, no, you're so talented at this, you know, you need to keep going. But I was like, well, actually, do I though? I've got all these skills. Can I make something out? And it's that audit, right? And then I'm like, well, what can I do with these skills? And then that's how I moved on. Yeah.
Man, I like how you blocked out all the noise. You just said, people say, man, you're really good at this. You're so talented at this.
Bro.
But sometimes, you know, there's always that dilemma like, oh, I might be talented, but I'm not really passionate about this.
It's the same thing with the podcast, right? So I did a podcast for 3 years and I was popping out 4 to 5 interviews a week. Like, this is how crazy it got, right? It was 3 a week, 3 interviews a week, and then 2 podcasts in the middle. So I was doing 5 podcasts a week, right? Because I was just on that grind, and because I knew I was getting better at it, and you know the listenership was coming up, and it was good to go. And then you know the New FM thing happened, and then the bakery run started really popping off, and I was like, listen, I think you know I just need to chill out on that, put all my effort over here, and those people have got a lot in the backlog. If they miss me, they can catch me on New FM. If they don't, then they just gap it, and that's fine. I'm fine with it, you know. So I had to really have that conversation. That's another conversation, you know. So yeah,
man. If you had to pick with the bakery run, obviously you've the Morning Shack, and then you got your podcast and all the and stand-up comic. Bro, which one out of all those is the like, man, this is my jam. This is the one that I can't let go. That's hard, man. Or the crowd goes wild.
Why you put this on me like this, eh? I'm really enjoying the crowd goes wild stuff. The stand-up stuff is very new to me. Like I've only done like maybe 4 or 5 gigs, so I'm like still learning that. It's fun, but yeah, it's I think. Listen, I love hanging out with my mate Regan. Like, I'll choose that one. It's either that or the bakery. I like hanging out with my bro Will that does the bakery run too. It's 1A, 1B between the bakery run and the Morning Shack. Yeah, waking up every morning and going to the studio and cracking up with my best mate Regan is something that it's just amazing. I love it. Yeah.
And the best thing about it, you get paid doing it. You get paid doing what you love.
Bro, it's almost like, what the heck? How the hell am I getting paid for this? Just hanging out with my mates. My mate, and so, it's pretty buzzy. But, you know, like, that's the thing is, like, I worked to get that, you know, and, you know, I worked on the mic, doing all the podcasts and doing everything. And, yeah, so I'm very, I don't want to say I'm very lucky, but I'm very thankful that I put the work in. Yeah.
Man, straight up, man.
Man, and you mentioned before about self-auditing and like finding that answer, having that conversation with yourself. I'm curious about whose advice do you turn to most? I imagine your mother might be a key factor there, but I'm curious about if there's anyone else in that sort of inner circle that you can turn to and pick their brains.
I have like 3 people, maybe 3 or 4 people in my inner circle, like the tight inner circle that I go to. Will is one of them. Sly Will. He's the producer / director, filmer, camera guy for the bakery run. You know, we created that off pretty much nothing. I'll go to him a lot, and Regan is another huge one for me. I'll ask Regs a lot of his mind and where would he go with this, and we would brainstorm a lot of stuff there. Aaron, the Western guy, Coach West, he's a young buck, but we kind of go there. But I have a lot of people that I kind of will reach out. It depends on the situation, right? Like I just got an audition coming up, and I'm like, what the hell do I do? Because I've never done one before. And then I just hit up Beulah, and he's like, oh, bro, this is what you need to do, blah, blah, blah. So I've got this network where I can just reach out and get some tips from, you know, and just ask. I think that's what a lot of people are scared to do too, is ask, you know. But yeah. And my mum, sure, for and my missus too, you know, like for the family stuff. But when it comes to the content side of things, Will and Regs are my go-to. Yeah.
Man, that's cool. And you said something there about people are scared to ask. Why do you think people are scared to ask for help? Or
man, did Beulah tell you about the Apple story on the podcast?
No, he didn't. Tell us.
Okay, so there's a story that, and this is perfect for what you just asked, right? Beulah got a job on a movie, and he didn't know that the buffet was part of the stay where he's staying. So the bro ate green apples. He only, and because it was at the front of the It was at the front office. He thought he had to eat the green apples. That's all he ate for like 3 days, just green apples, because he didn't know, he had no money, and he didn't know that it was all like, this is a Hollywood movie in the middle of freaking America, and it's so South Auckland, eh? Like, I'm like, that's a South Auckland thing. Don't go, hey. Like, I used to be like that. Now I'm not even scared, man. I'm like, hey, can I have a feed? Like, it's the courage to ask things.
Yeah.
And I think it's a South Auckland thing. I don't know. I don't know if it's anywhere else. Maybe it's just from poverty, I suppose. But yeah, I think we just don't want to rustle feathers and just, but yeah, I've gotten to the point now in my life, I just don't care. I just go hard. I'll ask anything. Hey, and I'm like scabbing things. Can I have something? I don't know if you saw that. I went to the Fight for Life and I was scabbing bread all night. I was like, yeah, can I have some of your bread, my bro? It's I think it's it's a poly thing too, I suppose. Would you agree?
It is, bro. Because how
Māoris aren't like my cousins aren't like that. If we want something, we're just like, because I'm part of your pie, straight up,
bro. That's true, man. I like this. That's what I like about tangata whenua. Hey, can I have something? Or just, but maybe it is because in my experience, it is kind of like a poly thing. For me personally, it is a poly thing. But I'm just imagine how detrimental is that in your mind? You think how detrimental is that to not ask when you need help?
Bro, I got to interview some of the most craziest people that I would never think I would, all because I asked. That's it. Right. People are like, oh, how did you talk to Chloe Swarbrick? I just asked. How did you get John Campbell on your podcast? I just asked. Bro, you go down the list. I just asked. Shei Fu, I just asked. I just go and ask them. Yeah, and like. Yeah, it was a lot of people always, and then you ask somebody like Jack Tane, for instance, right? I had John Campbell on. I impressed the shit out of him, like legit. Like he was impressed by my interview with him. He said, "Hey, Jack, you need to get on with this dude." Jack came on, got him on. Then he goes to Chloe. Hey, Chloe, this guy's the man. And then it just goes on and on and on, and you just build from there. Like, but if you're not gonna ask, then you're not gonna get. Like, squeaky wheel don't get no oil, man. Let's go.
But how important is that in terms of the relationships? Because you put the rapport with them, and then there's a relationship.
Well, that's the thing. I learned that from Sifs. You see what I'm saying? How it all comes back, right? I learned that from Sifs because I had to engage quickly because I'm like a viper. I'm like a cobra when it comes to engaging with people because I know I only have a minute max. Like I know I have a minute, maybe 2 minutes to make sure that person remembers who I am, and then all of a sudden, boom. Then it's all good.
Their first impression,
I met Valerie Adams for the first time. She kind of knew who I was, but I met her for the first time last week. And the first thing I just said, "Oh, whiwhi hake," and she was like, "Wow, this is cool," And then there was jokes about, "Oh yeah, Val knows me," and she's like, "I don't know you," and then now like she hits me up and she's like, "Man, that was a great interview," and now I'm good. I'm in this, not in the circle, but at least. They remember you by that first get it, yeah. When I had Biola Koali on, first thing I asked him was what was life like at in his classroom, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but I knew what classroom he was in at College, TC at Tangaroa College. I knew exactly what it is, and he was like, "Wow, yeah." John Campbell, I knew. So I don't know. So John Campbell, I obsessed about. The interview. I was like. I'm going to get this motherfucker, bro. I'm going to make this guy know who I am. First question I asked was like, how many times did you get hit on the bum from Mr. Horse? And he goes, how do you know about Mr. Horse? It was his teacher and things. So, like, I get that first minute in.
Those intimate details that no one knows.
Yeah.
Hard one, man.
Bro, that's slick, man.
Because you guys had Joseph Parker on, right?
Yeah, Joseph Parker. Yeah.
First thing I asked about Joseph Parker was like, bro, is it true that you had a fight in TNRI at Marcelin College when you were year 9? And he's like, how the hell do you know about that, bro? No, it wasn't me, but I was there, and because I catch it. Yeah, that was my shtick. But then I figured out like it's.
That's clever, man. That's clever, man. Oh.
Man, so is there anyone you haven't interviewed that you would love to interview?
Oh man, probably I'd say Adesanya, but I've like kind of interviewed him like off air. Like I've had a good chat with him. Adesanya would be one of them. I've got like a Rushmore, and it goes like Adesanya, Tom Scott from Homebrew, or Homebrew / Avondale Bowling Club, when I've had a conversation with him. Jacinda would be interesting, but I feel like I've interviewed politicians, and sometimes you're just like, yeah, are you legit like that? Like, is there a smoke screen there? Some of them, not all of them. Taika would be another one that I'd love to work with, and Stephen Adams, which I've had a good convo with Steve over karaoke. So yeah, bro. So it's pretty cool, man. Like, I've kind of come from Clendon and I've made it my I've made it my own, and it's been pretty cool, bro.
Man, represent 454, man. Cleveland City,
454, baby. Let's go.
Bro, but even now, Tim, because in the industry, in the creating the content, all that kind of stuff, social media platforms, all the things that you're doing, I'm sure that you would have experienced some snakes.
Hard.
Some guys who come in like, "Hey man, Tim, what's up, brother?" Hard. How have you been able to deal with that kind of ordeal?
I think it comes down to that bullshit meter that you get as a South Aucklander.
Yeah.
You figure it out real quick, eh? I tell you, like, I've actually got it down to a fine art, eh? Like, I listen to them. I just let them talk. I just let them go. And if they go on and on and on and I get bored, then I know they're all shit. Like, I just go, "Oh yeah, bro, so how are you?" And they just keep going, and they don't, there's no tennis match of conversation, right? I heard it to you, you heard it back. There's none of that. It's just like, "So bro, I've got this idea, blah, 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 blah." And man, I can give you a list of people that have been doing that lately. But
I just call them out, man.
Yeah, straight up. Let's go. First off, Biggie Smalls, bro. No, do this. First off, John Key. no, but like, it's just, I think it's what they used to call was SIFs, when you think is that flight of conversation, where their conversation just goes, and you're just like, what the hell? Like, how did this go? Yeah. You guys probably think about that about me right now, eh? Nah. Probably like, fuck, this guy's all shit here. This guy's shit here. Sorry.
I thought you were thinking about us, man.
Nah, you fellas let me talk, and I'm thinking, are these guys assessing me? These guys must think I'm all shit.
That's what Jay's right now.
Yeah, bro, all shit. Oh, that's true, bro.
Bro, that's crazy, man.
But it's true though, the ones that just go on and they don't even want to get to know you. They just want to get to know what they can take from you.
And I can imagine. And
I've had like a few people that I thought were boys, man, that would take my ideas and make their own stuff out of it. And I'm just like, wow, like we were sharing, like brainstorming stuff. And then next minute I see them doing it like with other people, or I see them like getting funding for that. And I'm just like, yeah, there's nothing I can do about that, because I know I got more ideas, and like it's just a matter of time.
Because they can't duplicate what you come up with, man.
Brother. Yeah, that's it. And it happens, man, all the time. And you just have to, you just have to be confident in what you have, Yeah.
Bro.
No, I was I was actually about to ask about like the childhood friends, if you had them growing up that have come along this ride with you, and then it must be harder to sift out those who you've known longer, in terms of, because not everyone, people change, and so people can be loyal through one period of your life and then not necessarily through the next.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a couple of like schoolmates, but people move on and things happen there. But I think, man, when you get to be on TV, like, far out, man, like people come out the woodworks, man. Like, it's like the bakery run. Listen, like I'm 100% honest on this. I'm not even fronting. I did not realize how big it was. And like, I would go to the mall and people were like, "Hey man, like I really like your content." I was cool with it. But bro, there's some, like, I think there's a couple of pinnacle moments in the bakery run. One was the Joseph Parker one. When the Joseph Parker episode dropped, shit got real. That was the first kind of like, we went from just mucking around to actual thing. And that's when, "Hey bro, how are you, bro?" It's funny, like it was that episode dropped a day before my birthday, right? And then I had a look at last year's birthday, and it was like maybe 15 people said happy birthday to me, bro. Bro, it was like 115 the next year, because they were like, that's the bro that hung out with, that ate a pie with Joseph Parker. And I was like, damn, like, this is all I have to do? And then the other one was the Lessie episode. When the Lessie episode dropped, that's when it kind of went boom, like, yeah. And that's when, you know, going to the mall and having a feed, it's doable, but sometimes, I mean, you know, I'm not at that level though, but, you know, like, it does get a little bit too hectic, yeah. Especially when we work right across the road from Manukau Mall, and then me and Regan just want to go get a feed, and it's like, oh man, let's go to a restaurant or something, because you go to the food court, gets a bit nuts.
Yeah, people are swarming you, eh? All those
Nah,
people.
not swarming. It's more numbers. More numbers. Just nah. Yeah, just a lot of numbers, honey. I was only tricks. But no, yeah. Once that happened, and then the Crowd Goes Wild stuff has kind of been a little bit there. It's been pretty cool, you know, because it's on Prime and Sky, so you know people see that a lot, and the videos online go a little bit. You know, a lot of people watch those as well. And then this ad I did, man, I did an ad for like a drink. I don't know if you guys seen it. I had to kiss a tree. Bro, that thing is going crazy at the moment. So I'm just like, okay, sweet. A lot of erection jokes coming through about the wood. Yeah. And shout outs to you, Nan. Nah. Stop mocking me, Nan. Nah.
But how about in terms of identity, Tim? Because we look at you at first glance. Oh,
Palangi.
Yeah, Palangi, Pakia. And they don't know you're proud tangata whenua. Proud Māori.
Yeah, I've been, I got that all my whole life pretty much, bro. Like, yeah, because my mum always preached to me that, you know, you're Māori, here's your iwi, this is your ropu, this is your, you know, this is your awa, this is your marae, and, you know, like, going through life, kind of being like, who am I? It's quite rough, you know. It is when you're doing kapahaka and you're the loudest follower, but you're the widest follower as well, and a lot of people, you know, oh, why is he here? Stuff, but yeah, it did teach me, you know, like, this is who you are. And then when I met my Maori family when I was about 6 or 7, and then that kind of cemented it in, like, you know, this is who you are, like, because yeah, this is who I am, and I ran with that. Yeah, and I don't want to say I ran with it, but you know what I'm saying. Like, that's who I was from that moment. Yeah.
Did you ever struggle, like in terms of like, man, because I look white, and
to this day, bro,
all my buddies are tangata whenua o Pasifika.
Yeah, to this day I struggle, and because like you know, like I mean, my whole life has been, you know, I'm all goods for, you know, the Palangis are all goods till I start speaking and being myself. And then the Māoris is the other way around, or the Māori Pacifica are there. Oh yeah, he's one of us, until, you know, like, you know, they, you know, introduce me to their mates. Oh, that's, you know, that's the Palangi fella. So it's been, I get a lot of, bro. I got, man, there was one time, this dude this dude was like trying to witch hunt me and say like, oh no, he's not Māori, he's pretending. And that was a very interesting time in my life where I'm just like, bro, I just want to give you a hiding here. Like, you know, far out. You should be. Bro, I've been struggling with this for my whole life, this identity crisis. But the more I got to know my whakapapa, the more that I got to experience, you know, who I am. And, you know, I've always had Māoritanga in my life from the minute I was born. It's always been, you're Māori, you know, all my cousins and my uncles, and, you know, they would treat me like, you know, like any of the cousins and stuff. But, you know, like, it's just, and it's that whole quantum blood thing, you know, like, oh, you're 5%, blah, 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 which is so shit. Like, it's so bullshit. You know, if you are who you are, and if you feel that you're Māori and you have Māori blood in you, and your whakapapa is, you know, you can strain your whakapapa as back as you can, then that's who you are. And I get a lot of, I don't want to say, it's not hate, it's just like second eyes, but I know the people that know it represent, and I know that they know that's what I represent. And yeah, so shout outs to Te Aotearoa and you know, and Taranaki, and that's where that's where my tūranga waiwai is. That's where I go home and feel like my wairoa get recharged. So yeah.
It's cool, man. It's
Yeah.
hard out, man.
But I mean, in terms of Samoan and Tongan and Tokelauan and Niuean, there's it's every like it's in those cultures as well.
Yeah.
So I just think, and it's been cool being on a platform and people relating with me because they are that way. Like they're a bit of camouflage going on. Yeah, it's been really cool. Like talking to Kaikara France.
Yeah.
Who's exactly the same, and finding his, and he's finding his pathway. And I don't know if you met So'omalo, who's our night show host on New FM. Like, he's inspirational to me. Like, I'm like, he knows he's got his pa'o, is it pa'o?
Oh, better.
Pe'a, not pa'o, that's something else, eh? No? Pe'a. Oh, that's pa'o.
He's something else.
It's pa'o. It's pa'o, my bro.
You're saying something else.
Look at me, eh? Troublemaker Timmy's come out, eh? Hey.
Timmy, you're mocking your mate. You're mocking your mate.
Sorry, so model, bro. You're the man, G. You're my inspiration, bro. Nah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there's people in society that, have this camouflage ability. And, bro, I got away with heaps of shit from the cops. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much, my bro. I was holding spray cans. And they were like, who are you here with? Oh, my bros. Hey, they'll be like, okay, you can go. Your bros are coming with us. I'm like, cheer, my bros. That's when old Timothy comes out. Sorry, sir. Sorry, kind sir. I don't know these hooligans.
The English changes.
Excuse me, sir. Saw these bloody hooligans.
They made me do it.
Yeah. They forced me. They took my keys and my wallet. No.
Oh, bro, this is great, man.
Man, that's hilarious. Honestly, that's like just hearing you talk about kapaka. I think that's amazing. Just because the class that I'll be going into is a Māori enrichment class in Papakura, and the community is mostly Māori, and the kids, I love them. They're such a hectic bunch. They're chaotic, but it's that chaos that we can relate to. You can like really turn some of those things that a lot of teachers are like, really deficit thinking about. Are such strengths, if you can flip them so easily.
You're gonna be a great teacher, brother.
Oh, I'm excited for
just hearing you say that, bro, man. There's the chaos, brother. The organized chaos of being a teacher, bro, it's nothing like it. But if you embrace it, bro, that's where you get the gold.
Absolutely. And often sometimes the kids, because I'm really we really push kapahaka, and some of the kids are like, oh man, I already know these songs, or I know I'm Māori, what do I have to do kapahaka at school? And so I was a little bit curious about your insight on why kapahaka is so important and what you gained from it.
Listen, at the time, I was like, fuck, what do I have to do this, mum? But now that I realize it, like, Māori, Pacifica as well, we are all orators. That's how our stories got told, man. Like, when you hit a tikatonu, bro, when you do a haka, or when you do any type of waiata, it's kind of like these stories got passed down to us through these stories, or through these songs. And sometimes they're not even the songs, it's just a feeling, eh? Like, I did kapahaka till I got to high school, and then I had to choose because it was either basketball or kapahaka, and I was like, the girls don't like, the girls aren't here. They're not going to Polyfest going, I'll tell you what, they're Waimori fella in the front, when I'm dropping 40 points on some fools at MH.
Oh.
No. MH, baby, you know I dropped 40 on you. I dropped 40, 50 piece, what? So anyway, so where was I? No. But like, it is, you feel it, like, it's a unity thing. You feel everybody's in the same boat and everybody is going. It's the same thing. It's just a different gang, but it's a kapaka gang, and we're together and we're united. So yeah, shout outs to you, bro. You're the man,
bro. Yeah, 100%, 100%.
We need more dudes like you. Like, people used to say that to me. They used to go, we need more teachers like you, Tim. And then I gapped it. Nah. And I was like, yeah. This radio money's pretty mean, eh? Nah, it's jokes. It's not. It's not.
Bro, man, Greg, Tim. Hey, Tim, you talked about the struggle with identity. Was there ever a time in your life where you just kind of like there was a dark time, like a real dark space in your life? Where you're like, man, I just, I'm not feeling it. I'm in the dark.
In terms of
mentally,
just with an identity or altogether.
Altogether, anything and just
I went through a really dark spell just after my daughter was born, and it was with the SIF stuff, right? Because I was seeing, like I saw some really dark things at SIFs, and it was really rough. And then I would have to go home and pretend to be happy, pretend to be all that for the time I was supposed to spend with my daughter. It was just dark because I was having to deal with everybody's, really, bro, just stuff that I didn't want to see and, didn't have to experience. And I didn't want to experience at that time when I was working there. And I went into a real whirlwind of just like, I didn't know what was going on, And, it was depression. I found out I was really depressed because I just didn't know. I just didn't think I was good enough for stuff. And, I was doing this job where I was seeing the darkest of the dark when it came to our kids and and also workers that work there as well, like real kind of, it was just really rough. And that was really my, I came out of that thinking, okay, I need a change. I need to do something with my life and I can't do this. That's when I went over to study. And that's when, but in between that time, it was a rough time. Yeah, really dark. It wasn't, I don't want to say it was dark, but at the same time, like I had some great people around me and I had some understanding people. Like my mum understood, my missus understood. And I had this beautiful baby girl that I needed to sort out and I needed to be for, and working in a dark place like that was pretty rough. Yeah, right. Change of management, change of expectations, it was really rough. So yeah, that was probably one of the roughest times. I mean, bro, when you're studying, you're poor, man. You're piss poor. You can't, you're just like, what the hell am I going to do here? When you got a young 2-3 year old and one on the way, and you're like, man, how am I going to make some money to feed I was really lucky. I had my mum and people around me, but it was pretty rough, But yeah, that was probably the hardest part I've had.
Man, thanks for sharing. And I think sometimes we kind of focus more. People can dwell and focus on the dark or the down spiral, and that real dark space.
Yeah.
But what were some of the, in terms of you trying to get out of there? What are some of the steps, the how tos? Because people are like, oh, that's cool. I listened to what Tim was saying. I understand what he's saying. But what are some of the how tos? Just little steps of how to climb out of that dark space.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Man, I was just very lucky that I was extremely lucky. I had people that were understanding, and when I think I had to admit it. I had to really just say, listen, and I went to the doctor. I went to a doctor and I said, this is how I'm feeling, and this is what's going on with me at the moment. And he was very hey, he understood, and that. But I was very lucky. My mum and my missus were just accommodating and just let me be myself for a little while. And then just would spend time with me, and I would spend time with my daughter, and that would really get me through some of those times where I'm just like, man, I just don't know what to do, and I think that's a lot of what it is. It's just problem solving, right? You just don't know what to do, and you got to bouncing ideas off and understanding I don't know what I'm going to do next, and then finding the light. And my light was I'm going to become a teacher because. If I become a teacher, then I have a degree, and then if I have a degree, then I can work all over the world, and then that was my shining light, as well as my daughter and my mum and my missus. Yeah,
man, it's amazing some of the dark spells that we go through. Sometimes can be one of those opportunities that can really change our lives around.
Yeah, push the reset button a bit. Yeah, but it's weird. When you get into those places, and we hear it a lot, and a lot of people say this, people should just reach out. You can just reach out to me if you want to. It's actually not even about reaching out. This is one of the things that really kind of, I want to say piss me off a bit, but when people say, oh, just reach out when you need me. Those people aren't going to reach out. You need to reach out. they need to, bro, how many people do I get reaching out to me? Hey, bro, can you help me with such and such? Or, bro, do you know how I can, like, with requests to do things? Bro, it shouldn't, I think society needs to change, especially with our males. It should never, like, we need to normalize that. Just hitting somebody up and saying, hey, bro, what's happening, bro? You want to go out for a feed? Should be normal, but we kind of treat it like it's awkward. You know, oh, well, why? What does this guy want out of me? Yeah. Like, oh, why for? Or why? Nah, I just want to hang, bro. Like, you know, and one of the hardest things is when you do that to somebody and they just leave you on scene and you're like, bro, I'm just reaching out to say, what's up, bro? Like, what's been up to, you know? But we still have the stigma, like, it's like awkward. You guys know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
It's like an awkward, like, bro, why are you? What's happening? It's like, nah, bro. I just you want to get a feed? You know, let's go, bro. I found this new spot. Gee, let's go through. Yeah, so I think we need to. I try to do that as much as I can with people that I care about.
That's cool, man. Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
have you found that, Pete?
Yeah, bro. No, I would have to agree, Tim. I think, and I 100% agree when you're saying in terms of. People say, "Oh, come on, man! Just hit me up if you're in trouble, man. If you need some, you need someone to talk to, man. Need an ear to talk to, I'll listen to it. And I'm the man. I'll be here." But you think of the dilemma that person's going through. Yeah. They are not going into hey, man, need your help. And so who's the one who's mentally, who has the mental capacity to actually help? Yeah. Actually help is us. Yes. Those who is like, okay, I'm all good.
In clear mind and clear state, right? And it's really strange that there's this thing that's, oh yeah, bro, just reach out to me. Bro, that person you need to go like, I love that dude. That's my guy. I'm going to hit him up. I'm going to say, hey bro, what are you up to on Friday? Let's go check this movie out. Or let's go, you need to make time for those people. And if you don't make time for it and like heaven forbid something happens, it's on you to go, hey man, like, you have to forward think and go, nah, shit, that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna hit up my bro. Like I do it to all my mates that I'm really close with, and I'll hit them up like, bro, let's go out. Like, bro, what are you up to? Because I care about these people. I just want to hang out. Yeah, and it's weird, eh? It's weird, that awkwardness. It's almost like bro, hell no, I don't want to hang out with you. It's like, bro, I'm just here just in case you need me, brother, and I'm just gonna be around.
It's kind of those kind of taboo conversations to have, eh? Like, oh. And you're right. I think some people kind of get a bit suspect, like, oh, what does he want? Or is there a catch to this? And so, which is really sad when you really want to help that person.
That's it, right? It's not like I want something from you. I just want to hang, like, because I know I might be going through a time, and I hope that you do that to me, because we got to be the change we want to see, right? And so I might be going through some stuff, and I would love a random message like, hey brother, how's things, bro? Not a, hey brother, I saw you on TV the other day, or hey brother, hey man, bro, can you link me with such and such? I want to know exactly, like, I just want someone to hit me up to be like, bro, I want to just hang. Let's talk about NBA. Let's talk about, let's go and jam something, but it's too many, it's that stigma of, well, why would I want to hang out? What do we need to talk about? It's like, bro,
That definitely needs to change, man, for our men.
I can relate to like a weird tangent on that. Is like there's a good friend of mine that lives like right around the corner, walking distance, and I think, at least for myself, I get in my own head to the point where like I don't even message him because I'm like, oh, I haven't messaged in ages. It'd be weird if I just message out of nowhere now.
It's that thinking, brother. Yeah.
So in a way I can relate to it, but it's like, it's literally all in my head, and I'm just like, I'm thinking of all these scenarios that I'm sure he'd be grateful if he got a message, but for whatever reason, as I'm typing it up, it just stays typed up and I don't hit send because I'm like, oh, he made the effort last time, and twice in a row now, I've already missed that in between visits. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, we need to get rid of not you, I'm saying in general.
I get you.
Because I used to do this thing, like I used to have like 7 o'clock every morning. I used to just, this is probably come out. I used to go on my Facebook Messenger and just choose somebody that I haven't talked to for ages and say, bro, what's happening, brother? Like I used to just do that.
Cool.
At 7 o'clock every morning, I used to wake up, get ready for work, scroll through, oh, bro. And I'll just hit up the bro. Hey, cuzzy, how's things, bro? And then, but it was the amount of waiting, like from the scene to the response. I was like, nah, bro, I don't want anything from you. I just want to make sure you're all goods, my bro. And I think if we can kind of like, because a lot of people will talk, like I see people like, oh yeah, bro, reach out to me. Even if I've reached out to people that have said that to me, and they left me on. They were like, meh,
Left you high and dry.
left me high and dry, man. So I'm just like, yeah, come on, my bro. Like you want to talk that game up. Let's back it up too, and let's start talking. Let's communicate. Yeah, because I know overseas it happens all the time. Like, yeah, it happens a lot. Like a lot of people they just reach out normally. Like
That's a good point, Tim, because the other countries or other nations, we always kind of do and it's real common for us, even in Westernized or in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Hey, how are you, bro? And what's our initial reaction? We always say, what do we say?
All good.
All good. I'm all good. So I'm fine. Yeah. And then we just sweet as, and we walk off. And
or it's when you go off, you're like, oh, have a quick like, oh, how are you? All good, all good. Oh man, we should catch up sometime. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Bro, I've been doing this one lately. All right, we'll do that thing, bro. How you been, bro?
Yeah, all good. How are you?
I'm good, bro. And you hit me with the.
Oh yeah,
bro,
man, we should catch up sometime.
Up to you on Saturday, bro. And then I'll just intensely stare at them like this. Straight up to you Saturday, bro. 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? And then that's when I go, yo, shit, yeah.
but you're right, Tim, because other nations, when they ask them, how are you? They want to. Okay, they actually sit there and they say, let's talk.
Bro,
how are you?
America is out the gate with that stuff, bro. When you go to America and you're like, hey man, how are you? Oh, hey man, I've been going through a lot of blah blah blah, and I'm sitting there like, wow, I'm not used to this, eh? Yeah.
100%.
And then they go like, so what's happening with it? And then they'll ask you a personal question, and they'll go, so man, those are mean shoes, man. Where'd you get those from? Oh yeah, I got them. And they were really good at that, bro. They love talking about shoes and t-shirts, bro. They always talk about t-shirts all the time. Man, that's a cool t-shirt. Where'd you get that t-shirt from? Oh, bro, I got it from blah, blah. And it just initiates the contact, initiates the engagement, right? Yeah, I learn a lot from and you study these people. You study. Yeah, I mean, I've studied some of the best coaches in the world, I suppose I could say that, if you count some of these like Roy Williams and stuff like that. And that's the first thing I noticed, man, is that they just engage quickly and they gain rapport real quickly, and they care about who you are as a person. They're not just like, you're a good player, okay, run laps. No, they get to know their mum, their dad. They know their mum and dad by name. They know their middle names. They know all these things about them, and it helps with the engagement. It helps them know that they're not there just for the paycheck. Yeah,
and it's become so common now. Hey, how are you? Oh, good. And but really, we don't really care. Like, how are you? And okay, thanks. See you later. Which is something that needs to change.
Even if things are not all good though, you're still saying
because it's automatic.
It's auto response.
Default. For us in New Zealand, it's the default. Hey, just all good. Yeah, sweet as.
And knowing very well that person is not looking good.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet as. Walk off.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is like we haven't done the. It's kind of like when people say you go to the gym, you got to do like those ones that like me, they go for 1 month and just this is too much. But it's that repetitive. You got to keep doing it, right? And you got to keep hitting people up like, hey brother, like just checking in, brother. That's all I used to say. Just checking in, my bro. What's been happening? That's it.
That's cool, man.
And that's like hardly anything.
That's so cool.
Like what's cracking, brother? Bro, anything? You want to go for a feed? That's it. But we don't do that. We just hit them with the just scene, leave you on scene, and and it's part and parcel of this tall poppy shit that we have too, Yeah.
What do you think about that? What do you think about that tall poppy syndrome, man? That's here in Aotearoa, man.
It's definitely a big thing. But we have to be the change we want to see, and we need to start celebrating some of these amazing achievers that we have in Aotearoa, and these amazing achievers that we have in our own households, our kids, our cousins, our nephews, our nieces. We need to start celebrating them a little bit more too, and being a part of their celebrations, so they know that it's normalized. So yeah.
But how damaging is that, Jay and Tim? How damaging is that? Like you said, man, we should be celebrating like early on, but it's hard for us to celebrate because you know what's going to happen. You celebrate, wannabe, arrogant.
It's rough.
This guy.
It's rough. I think, and I mean, Beula's an amazing example of an overachiever. Somebody that's overachieved from South Auckland, that has gone on the world stage and been amazing at his craft, but yet he comes back here and He's like, that's the bro, you know. Oh, he's from South Auckland. Let him do his thing. But like, you know, he knows, and that's the thing, right? Is he doesn't need that, and it's that validation from people. I mean, Israel Adesanya is a huge. He's probably the poster boy for
Calling that out,
It's cool, man. It's
but
cool.
not just calling up, but for people not showing him the respect that he deserves, right? And there's so many of them. Joseph Parker, Junior Farr is another one.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many people. Taika Waititi, you know, and Stephen Adams is another one. It's just one of those. Oh well, he's doing his thing.
Well, even recently, Tim and Jay. Oh, you heard of the Tō Samoa of the rugby league, bro? They've been getting hit, man. They've like obviously the rugby league World Cup since they lost to England 60-6, bro. They've been getting hit. You're useless, blah blah blah. You're terrible.
It's horrible.
And you imagine those players, like, man, what's going on through their minds? Like those young men, like, bro, they're looking at us like we're crap, we're rubbish.
So rough, eh? Like it's just society, man. There's no, and we talked about winners before and developing winners. It's not about that with some people that don't know what it's like to win, bro. Like those people that are talking smack, they don't know what it takes to win. Like they're probably, you know what I mean? Like they have no clue what it actually takes to win. Those boys that are on the field, they know.
Exactly, man.
But all of the boys, they know what they needed to do to get to the pinnacle of their sport. But these people that are like, oh, the bloody, you know, making jokes about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I get for humor's sake, but when it gets nasty, I mean, we saw it with the All Blacks, man. Like, bro, what about this one? When the All Blacks got announced, when I was at the Fale in Māori,
bro,
you go to the Facebook messages. Wow, it was the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. All the racial slurs are coming out, and what they didn't understand, bro. I think I did the math. 74% of the All Blacks were Polynesian. Yeah. So why shouldn't it be there? But they don't do. All these people that are racial slur, don't give a shit about that. They just want to be funny and they just want to be racist, but they don't care. As long as we're winning, you know? Yeah, as long as we're winning, everyone's all good. Yeah.
That's just harsh, man.
Yeah, it's rough, bro. It's rough out here. But yeah, that's tall puppy for you, bro.
Bro. And I love what you said. I think it should be common because it's so uncommon for us to kind of check up on just randomly. We need to there needs to be a cycle where just men just kind of just randomly every day, I'll pick someone, a random person, I'll just choose this person. Yeah. Oh, how's it going?
And I used to get some real awkward, like, yeah, bro, what do you want? And I was like, no, I'm just checking in, brother. You know, and I had to double down on it. Like, no, I'm just, and I wouldn't say, hey, every Wednesday I'm going to do this. No, I'm just like, hey, bro, I'm just checking in, bro, making sure everything's all good. This is before everything. This is before the bakery run. This is before anything. And I got into I conditioned myself to do it, and now I do it all the time, just checking in on the people that I love and the people that I want to make sure that everything's going all right. And I never say, how are you feeling? I just do that, bro, what's happening? Like, what's new? That's another one that I say, what's new, bro, what's happening? And then, and some people get weirded out, some people not so much, but hey, it is what it is, you know? You can only do so much. Yeah, that's bro.
And what's one of the coolest experiences in terms of, like, have you had any really cool reconnections with people that you hadn't spoken to in a while, and you dropped them a random message? And
with that one? Yeah, bro, all the time. Yeah, with that one, yeah. But it kind of got a bit weird when like things started popping on social media, because they were like, you know, it'd be like, it would just be, it's weird, because like I'd do it, and it would almost be like I'm trying to fish for them to talk about what I'm up to. Like they'd be like, hey bro, I've been seeing what you've been up to, and I'm like, I really don't want to talk about that. I just want to see what's happening with you, brother. Yeah. And then so that's why I stopped doing that. But I mean, I have a select, 30, 40 people that I always link up with, that I vibe with, that know that I'm doing it because I honestly, legitly just want to know how they're going on, how things are going in their life. Yeah. Bro. It's pretty cool.
Man, that is cool.
Yeah.
You're the man, bro. Hey, because you mentioned your mom. How instrumental is your mom?
Well, my mum is my mum is everything.
Amazing
man.
Lady, man.
She's awesome. Yeah, she's very, she's amazing, my mum. So I got a lot of time for anything that she asks me to do. If it involves doing the lawns, maybe not. But if it's picking my undies up off the ground, I got you, mum. But yeah, I love my mum. But yeah, I'm a mama's boy because that's all I had growing up. So yeah.
Bro, man, that's just so cool. Jay, any
I was curious about any other role models you might have in your life. You've talked about friends and people in your inner circle. Are there people that you look up to? And you sort of mentioned people in different avenues like sport, for example. But are there people generally in life that you kind of have as role models or have had as role models?
Man, that's an interesting one. I've had a lot of coach mentors when I first started, you know, like learning the game that I kind of go to. There's a couple of people like, but I think in terms of life, just kind of learning from other people and learning from other people. I know this is going to sound mean, but learning from other people's mistakes. Like I'll sit back and I'll go, why did that happen? And then I'll go, well, I'm not going to do that. Like, you know, like,
Clever, man.
Staying away from that. So that's been pretty instrumental. Like I didn't really have a lot of male role models. Like I was solo mum, so my mum would look after me. I had, you know, we whāngai a lot of older people, and those people really did a massive job with putting me in my place and putting me to where I am. But yeah, in terms of that, it's been, my mum's been my, you know, I've been growing for that, and yeah. But I mean, I reached out. I'd look at a lot of you know, like NBA people and like coaches and basketball players, and you know, watch their. Another thing too is man, I love watching interviews. Like I love watching David Letterman and like the best of the best, right? Yeah, I love that stuff. That's my goal, like in life, is to finish up and have my own show like that. Like in America, not in New Zealand,
bro.
Yeah, I shoot that far because if I miss it, I'll still be close. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, why not, man?
Yeah, and you know that if we look at like the Late Show and you know, the Late Show and the Tonight Show, and even the Daily Show as well. You know, a lot of foreigners do those shows. There's James Corden. He does the Late Show.
Yeah.
Who else is there? There's Trevor Noah. Yeah. So I'm kind of like, wow, that open. You know, I look at that and I go, man, nothing's stopping me from doing that. So that's my ultimate goal. Yeah, and
awesome,
I'm just gonna keep grinding it out. And I know what I need to do. I need to get better at being on stage, and it's the stand up shit. And you know, I need to be better on camera. That's the bakery run stuff. You know, I need to be better at making segments. That's what we do on the Morning Shack. So you know, I'm just slowly just carving and just And if I miss it, at least I've tried it. Yeah, at least I can go home. At least I can, you know, retire or whenever that is, and go, well, at least I give it a go. Like, you know, at least I gave it a shot, because I would hate to be like, oh shit, man, maybe I should have tried a little bit harder. But no, I'm going as hard as I can. So that's my goal. That's my ultimate goal.
Bro,
that's awesome.
Bro, no regrets.
And having people around me that like know that could happen is important. Like, you know, like I share those. I share it with everybody, because I know when it happens, they can go back to it and go, yo, he told us this in 2022. You know, he told us this, bro. This goes back to like 2020. Like I said, this kind of stuff. Yeah, because it's all engagement, bro. Like that's all it is. Those shows, it's engagement. It's being funny. It's being able to, you know, move the crowd, I suppose. And I think, I think it is. It's just an opportunity. Like I just need an opportunity, and that's it. Once the opportunity comes, I mean, I'll take it on. Yeah,
bro, that's inspirational, Tim. And I feel like you're doing you're making all the right moves, all the right steps, and the grind. Yeah, you're putting in the hard work. And so, in terms of this, if that's the ultimate goal to run your own talk show, what's the goal for you in terms of mentally, like? In terms of, you know, that's like outward goal, the outward or the outlet of who you are in this talk show. What's the goal for you, or your wairoa and your hinengaro?
But I just want to be at peace with who I want to. This is going to sound quite morbid, okay? But I want to be at peace at who I am when I pass away. I want to be at peace at whenever that happens, whenever that moment happens and I pass on. I want people to know, I want people to know that I was good and I tried my hardest, and that's it. And I worked hard to get what I wanted. And like, you know, like I think the satisfaction for that, for building my mental health and being able to be happy with who I am and to represent my iwi, my tribe, my Clendon, South Auckland, when I can represent them, and at the end of it all, I can sit, people will go, man, he really put a lot of work in and put a lot of effort in, and so I think knowing that will make me, it really does make me go, sweet, like, okay, I'm on the right track. Yeah,
bro, too much, man.
It's pretty morbid to say that, though.
Nah,
man.
I tell you what, bro. My video tribute's gonna be gangster. I'm telling you, bro. In the clouds, my bro. But if it isn't, I'm coming back, man. You better. But yeah. Oh,
Bro, mean, man. Any last comments or questions, Jay?
I had a few things there. I think, honestly,
we could talk forever, bro. Let's
absolutely.
go. Nobody has to get up in the morning. Nah. I had a nap, bro. We're good to go. Yeah, bro. But teaching wise, bro, how you feeling about being a teacher?
I love it, bro. I'm excited for it.
How was your practicums, bro?
I had a bit of a rough time.
I know you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say everybody has a hard time, and it's not your fault. It's the others. See, we need to start treating our practicums like helping our new people out.
Nah, absolutely, man. My second year was at a high decile school, and
I was about to ask that. Was it a high decile?
It was rough, man. It was rough. Like Samoan Language Week was just calling all the kids to the office. Let's take a photo. And I was one of the only brown male teachers there, so I was like, "Oh, you want to take a photo?" It's like, man, that's it,
brother. I'll tell you some stories off the camera, bro, that I might get in trouble with if I say it on the camera.
All good. But
it is rough, bro. But you did all right. You passed.
Yeah. I got through everything. So for me, my goal is always wanted to do postgrad studies. So I want to get that doctorate one day. And so initially the plan was to get a scholarship and do some honor study next year full time, but I got to pay the bills. I got 2 young kids at home and a wife,
brother.
So when you're talking about the struggle with a young family, being broke as a student, absolutely can relate. And so I'm going to work and juggle.
Can I give you a tip, bro?
Yeah.
Sell feet pics, my bro.
You obviously ain't seen my feet,
bro. Hey, you never know, bro. There might be some ugly feet fetish people out there, bro. They'll love that. They'll be like, those yellow toenails. No. But yeah, bro. I know the struggles, brother.
Yeah.
But one more year, right?
So last semester, so I got like 3 weeks left, and then January next year I'll be in my class.
Bro, here's a funny story, bro. I finished everything, bro. I finished my studies, bro. I didn't work in a school till 6 years later, bro. Far out. So I got my diploma. I was all good. And then the basketball coaching thing happened, and then I got a job that would have paid a lot more than a teacher would have to do basketball coaching for a living. And then I did that, and I traveled around the world with it for 6 years. And then I was like, holy shit, what do I do now? And then I had to get back into it because it expires, bro. Did you know that?
Yeah.
It expires if you haven't used it in 6 years. I was 2 months out, bro, and then I got a job, man. I was like, okay, I'll teach now. Oh, I don't want to lose that. I spent all that money on it. So yeah.
Man, that's cool,
bro.
I had a teacher, and at the school I struggled with my associate teacher. She told me that
name and shame, bro. Do it. Nah, don't.
She told me I didn't have
Botany
what
Downs,
it takes.
wasn't it? It was Botany Downs.
No. You're warm.
But she told me that I didn't have what it takes to be a teacher.
Shut up.
Legit.
Straight up.
And she didn't get why.
Okay, blink twice because the camera. Don't blink twice if it was Caucasian. That was a one blink. It wasn't.
But just absolutely different life philosophies. It was brutal. But
was your name something like Cyril or something like that? Was it like Doris or something like that?
Viral.
Perhaps
Viola or something like that. Sorry, should stop that.
You're getting close.
You guys are sad. Oh man, that's crazy.
But man, it was the stubbornness from hearing that was just like I am absolutely going to 100% prove you wrong.
Brother, these stories I tell you off camera, you're going to love, brother.
I'm excited for it, man.
But is there a clean one? Is there a clean story like you can just without giving away too
Nah,
much?
because I know that
People will
the people
trace it.
no, because I'm kind of like, people know me, I suppose.
yeah.
They follow everything I flip and do. So I've said a few things that have gotten me in trouble. Like, I didn't say names, but then I'll get the message. Oh, don't talk about. Oh, you shouldn't talk about it. And I'm like, oh man, that was a funny story though. Yeah, but I'm actually writing some stuff out, so I'll talk to you afterwards about it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What else is in the pipeline anyway?
So stand up, man. This Saturday, actually. Oh, I can't. Whenever this comes out, I'm in the semi-finals and the finals for the Raw Comedy Quest to find the best rookie of the year for stand-up comedy, and I'm on that this Saturday. I'm starting to learn how to write. I'm writing. Oh, I've written, but I'm writing like properly, like shows and sitcoms and stuff. So I'm starting to learn about final draft and all that stuff. What else have I got going on? I've pitched a pilot for a show. So that I'll tell you about. I've pitched a pilot and it's getting shopped around. So hopefully that will be, maybe in another 2 or 3 years it might come to fruition. And bro, I just want to make the Morning Shack the best thing. Yeah. Like, I'm really passionate about making what me and Regan and Aaron, what we do, because it is so much fun and people don't listen into us enough because it's either not what they're used to, or they don't have the car stereo that works that far. Even though we're on we're on the iHeartRadio app, 103.8 New FM. But you know what I'm saying? I really I'm so passionate about being the best radio DJ anchor, they call it. I just want to be the best because I know that myself and Regan have something extremely special, and there's no chemistry like us, and I know that it's only going to take a matter of opportunity and time before people start listening in and really getting down with the Morning Shack, because it is, if you're from South Auckland, it is exactly what you think it would be, having a garage party, talking shit every morning from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. We just go on it the whole time, and it's amazing. So I just hope that, I just want more people to tune in and get into what we're up to. So I love what we're doing.
Bro, my man.
Let's be honest, you fellas haven't been listening, eh?
Oh, bro, I've been listening, mate.
My radio don't
Morning
go that
Shack.
far. We got Bluetooth and Japanese stations.
Have you got a phone, bro?
Absolutely.
You get on that iHeartRadio app, all right,
Got
my
you,
bro?
man.
Don't you get
Got
me in,
you,
and
bro.
I'm going to shut you up. I'm going to shut you out in the morning, okay? And if I don't get the thanks, brother, thanks for the thing. If I don't get that, bro, I know you're fake.
Call me out, man. Let's do
I'm
it.
going to see and then I'll be like, you don't have what it takes to be a teacher. You don't have what it takes. My name is Cyril.
Bro, too much.
Oh man, I just got a couple more.
Keep them coming, bro.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
One of the questions I had was like, have you ever had any regrets?
See, here's the thing. There's those tough guys. No regrets, bro. I don't live with regrets. But I want to give a shout out to my bro Brox. Are you guys familiar with the bro called Brox? Brox, he's a streamer, and he does carving. He's quite famous fella. Oh, yeah, he's one of my mates. He got really famous really quickly. It was crazy. I was there. I was like, what the hell's going on? Anyway, he says a lot of people ask him, have you like when you're doing carving, do you make mistakes? And he says, I never make mistakes. I just make adjustments. Oh. Shout outs to you, Brox. Stealing that.
Guy's the man.
I think he might have stole it from Bob Ross, but it's you, Brox. You're the man. Yeah, just making adjustments. I don't have regrets, because I feel, it's easy for me to say that, but I learned from everything that I did, and if I didn't do it, then I wouldn't have learned from it, So, yeah, even hanging out and getting in trouble with the police, but it's not to the point of too much stuff, but I learned from stuff. I learned from mistakes. Everybody does. So yeah, I think it's hard, to say when you say there's no regrets, but it's true. Like you just learn from everything, every mistake you make, and you adjust your lifestyle towards it. Yeah, I don't regret coming here, man. This is awesome.
Oh man,
this is awesome, fam. You guys are great at what you guys do. Yeah.
And likewise, obviously we've Clinton, because we didn't touch on Clinton, you know, 454, in terms of, you said you got in trouble with some of the cops and the police out there. Obviously, you know, back in the days, RA, you know, yeah, back in Clinton. And you said you had some of those guys come over to your place and stay here.
Bro, my mum was like, yeah, you guys can just live with us. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? What the heck? But yeah, I'll tell you what, they were down for the cause, bro. They would help me out all the time. Yeah, so man, shout outs to Daniel, shout outs to Rocky, all my bros, shout outs to Rocky Stevens. Let's go. But yeah, you know, it's just, yeah, it was my mum caring for people, and I learned from that. You know, she would put her neck out for people, even if they would steal stuff from our house and never see them again. Oh, where's my G-Shock watch? Oh, sorry, son. I think that bro must have stolen. But it's my mum reached out and helped people when she could have, and that's what I've learned a lot from her as a person. Yeah.
And I think that's cool, Tim, because obviously you're authentic, you're genuine, and I think some guys kind of put up, you know, obviously when you're on radio, you're on social media, you have to put up this persona or this front, you're this person.
It's not, it's just
but that's who you are.
And it's funny, like people actually get a bit like, what the fuck, is he actually like that? It's fun. So when I go to the Sky offices, it's all just white people. Like I'm the only I'm white, but there's a couple of Māoris there and a couple of Pacifica, but it's mainly that. And then when I walk in, bro, I come in my slides and my socks. I don't give a shit, bro. I'm out here and then I'm talking smack and I'm like, hey brother, shout out to my producer too. Ra, he's a hearty. He's another fella like me too, you know. So yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool. It's cool that I get to be myself. And I didn't change for anybody. That's what I love the most about it. Yeah, I don't have to change for nothing. And that's what I think a lot of people now, especially social media people, they're starting to get on a lot more now. I mean, you look at Regan, you look at Skrilla, you look at all these people Jimmy Jackson has been on for a while. He's been on TV stuff. Terrell's another one. Yeah. They're getting on these opportunities and they just get to be themselves. And that's what the most powerful thing is, because you know, you can't fake being and I said it before, it's too much work having to put on a front and be someone that you're not. And when you get to work and just be yourself, it's powerful, man. Yeah.
Have you ever felt pressure to like, hey man, you just kind of turn it down a bit? Have you felt that pressure to kind of...
Try being a teacher, bro. Like, I had to turn it well off.
I literally thought of that straight away.
Every day. I was playing a character for 6 years straight.
Wow.
I was actually in an alter ego mode, and I couldn't even turn it off in the staff room because everybody else was not used to somebody like me. I remember sitting in here's a fun, I can say this story actually. We sat around this table and it's like, you know, what's been happening? What's in your world? Bro, it goes around and they're like, oh, you know, my horses, you know, I've just bought a new horse, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I just went to Rarotonga, comes to me. And it was my first time. I was just like, I've had enough of this shit. I'm just going to be South Auckland to the fucking death. And I go, bro, the house next door to me, you got I was like sitting there and I go, man, 3 houses in my street have been home invasioned. Like, it's funny you laugh, but it actually happened. Home invasion. So I haven't left the house for the last, for the holidays. And, you know, my shoes, I just went straight hood. And then I looked at their faces and it was like, is he lying? Is he joking? Because they all lived a very, very posh life. Yeah. And then there's me. And then, I had to honestly play a role for thing. And that's why this Morning Shack thing is so great, because I'm just myself and I get to be myself, and it's beautiful. I've never had that. Yeah, even at Sifs I had to be somebody else. You know, I couldn't be the hood dude. I had to be the tough dude that, hey, no, that's not what we do here. Yeah. And even in the basketball scene, like I had to be, you know, because I'm a very caring person by nature, but if you coach at the top level, you need to be an asshole sometimes, and I just didn't have that in me. Like, and that came from that audit. I had to audit myself. Am I actually like that? Nah, I'm not. So then I went back to teaching. Yeah.
How'd you contain yourself, man? Like, what did you have to do?
That's when that release came. Like that's when Twitch came along, and I got to be myself on Twitch. I got to be myself at home, obviously, and then I got to be myself. And then the bakery run started, and people started seeing, it was that release of just being myself that I didn't get from work, from 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, I suppose, 7 to 5.
Yeah, 6 years.
Yeah, 6 years. Yeah, 6 years of just bro. Here's another one. I was at like a Catholic school for like 2 years.
What school is it?
I'm not going to say, but I don't even go to church, my bro.
But what school is it?
It was Saint something. Saint to those when you look at Saint microphone. Saint Road. Saint Roads. But no, like it was weird. Like I'm just like you had to play a role, you know, and now I'm just myself, and it's great. It's liberating. You know, it's kind of this might get me in trouble if I say this, but I kind of relate with people that come out of the closet, bro. You know, because I was in the closet, but not that way. But I was like pretending to be, oh yes, you know, and now, bro, I'm just out the gate when I'm at New FM. Should hear some of the stuff we talk about off the air. Holy heck, get me cancelled. Probably already cancelled from that closet line. Someone's about to cancel all of us, boys. We're out of here.
It's our last show to go.
Last time, hold on, this is not the first time though. When I was on Skrilla's podcast, it was called Don't Cancel Us. Bro, me and Regan were on the last one that got us cancelled. I don't know if it got us cancelled, but we didn't have a show out there. They didn't have a show after that. Shout out to you, Skrilla, bro. Making us your final one. Yeah. Any other questions, brother?
The other thing I was curious about was you mentioned right at the very beginning you've only had one conversation with your father, and I was curious about how that conversation came about and what that must have been like, because I can only imagine what it must have been like.
Bro, I remember I was like, I think I was like 8, and it was my birthday. I can't even remember what we talked about, bro, to be honest. Like, yeah, I honestly can't. I think I may have like just erased it from my head, I think. Because, man, we're getting into the deep stuff right at the end, eh? Bro, I think I was like, there's still parts in me that, like, being a parent, you know, and, you know, you've got...
Yeah, 3-year-old and 1-year-old.
You're just like, it's not in my makeup to just gap it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing in me, in my mental that's like, I'm just going to just forget about everything. And I still, you know, like, and, you know, going a bit deeper, I still harbor some ill thoughts. But the older I got, the more I realized that, bro, I don't know what went on. You know, like there's probably some stuff that I would never know about, and I probably don't want to know about. And I just kind of let it lie. And that's just how it is. This is my life. You know, I grew up with my mum. My mum was my dad and my mum at the same time. And it's, it was really hard. Like, especially growing up, especially teenage years were really rough, because I was like, bro, who do I go to about all these things, you know? And I was really lucky. Mum was very good. My mum was very good about it. But yeah, bro, like growing up without a dad was quite, there was still some real, you know, I had to go, especially in my 20s, like I just hated it. Like, bro, how could you do that? Like, you know, but you know, as you get older, you kind of realize, bro, I don't know the whole story. And to be honest, I kind of don't really want to. Yeah. But it was, I don't even know what that conversation was like, but I think I've just erased it from my mind. Yeah. I think I've erased a lot of things like that from my brain. Just been like, move on. Your mum did a great job. You know, yeah. And I'm successful now, and I'm in a position where a lot of people would die for, you know, like, and so I'm just happy where I'm at, and I just keep nose to the ground and just work hard, you know. Yeah, but yeah, it does. Yeah, it is quite rough, eh? Like, yeah, it's quite a rough thing growing up. Yeah, growing up without a father, especially when you're a teenager. Yeah, and you're wondering about girls, and you're wondering about what's happening to my body, those types of things. Is this normal? Like, yeah, but my mum did what she could in terms of just helping me understand. So yeah, she was great. She's awesome like that. Yeah,
that's so cool. Yeah. What would you say, Tim, to those individuals or those men, or even young men with us, you know, who have a sense of abandonment and like, man, I'm just going through some. You know, dad's gone, my mom's gone, raised up solo parenting. What kind of words of affirmation you could give to some of those individuals?
It came through, and I was, you know, when I came to realize, like, hey, this is not normal. Like, you know, like it's not normal not having male role models around. Like, you normally have that. I was really lucky that, you know, my uncle, you know, I had many uncles that kind of helped me out in terms of, you know, just being around and being available for, my growth as a male. But there's always those thoughts of that fella fucking left me. That fuck, bro. Like if he doesn't want me, stuff him. You can get lost. And it's natural. Like it's abandonment. You're right. It's abandonment issue, and there's stages to it. And the first stage is always going to be hate, and that hate's going to last for a long time. But once you get your mental sorted and you understand that life is very complex, and a lot of people make decisions that they regret, and sometimes they regret and just keep regretting for the rest of their life. You just have to come to realize it's one of those things where you need to be the change that you want to see, and when you have an opportunity to be a father, you be the best father you can be, and that's what I think. It's the only way to change the circle. Yeah, bro. It gets a bit deep.
Oh man, props, man, props.
Yeah, that's that raw nerve for me. Like when. I think that's where, like, I think honestly, like some of the funny shit that as a kid, being the clown, I think that was really a defense mechanism for that. Like, if I break it down enough, it probably was. If I'm unpacking it, that's probably what it was. It was like I need to be funny because I'm a bit insecure about not having a male role model around. And breaking it down, it probably was it. But even now, I'm kind of like breaking it down in my head. Maybe it was shit. But yeah, it was a really tough time for me. But I got through it because I was very lucky. I had a great mother and I had good people around me. So yeah.
Would it be fair to say that it was kind of like a driving factor for you to just no doubt, push yourself?
No doubt. I mean, there's times there, and I'm like, I hope he sees that billboard, I hope he sees me on that ad, and it's crazy. Like, but at the same time, it's that same mindset that it limits you a bit, when you're like, you're just like, yeah, stuff. You should see it, that real up the man, type thing. And it limits you to actually stay running your race and staying on track, because you're so fixated on proving somebody wrong, or fixated on, shame, you should have hung around, you idiot, you have those, but that's not going to complete these goals I have. It's going to actually just distract me from it. So I just need to get on my grind and just stay going, because
mean.
That's cool. That was all for me, other than the it might seem like a bit of a random question, but I was curious about when was the last time you told your mother you loved her? I feel like a lot of the guests we've had...
Hold up. Yeah, that's a great question.
Everyone talks about their mother and how much they love them, but when was the last time you actually told her?
Man. See, my mum is like one of those ones that like, she doesn't get into this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'll say it. She's like, yeah, whatever, all goods. But so I just say it to her anyway. I think like probably a couple of nights ago, but I'll do the ones like, I'm going to bed now. Yeah, all goods. I'll walk away and I go, I love you, mum. And then she go, yeah, whatever. And then she'll just, just do the dishes, all goods. That she's just like that. But I say it all the time. But in terms of my kids, like I say it every single day. I always message, so my kids live in Taranaki. So what happened at the start of the year was I was going to teach down in Taranaki. I had a job lined up. Everything was good to go. We moved down. We put everything in it. We took everything down there, rented a house down there. And then this new FM job came, and my partner was just like, you need to go. This is what you've been wanting to do. And she's amazing like that. And so they're down there, and I fly down every second weekend, or drive down, take mum with us, and mum's moving down there soon. So it'll just be me up here in the big smoke doing my side quests, because my family life is my main quest. And it's crazy. This year, bro, has been absolutely nuts, bro. Yeah, bro. This year has been fucking nuts, eh?
And it's just the beginning, Tim. It's just the beginning,
absolutely,
bro. I know, man. I'm like, wow. I'm getting like I'm rubbing shoulders with these people that are like, bro, I love what you're doing. Like, this is what we need. We need this kind of stuff on. And yeah, it's pretty dope. I rubbing shoulders with people I used to watch, like Andrew Mulligan, man, like that's on the Crowd Goes Wild. I used to watch him because he's a basketball dude, right? And I used to watch him like bro, that dude knows heaps, bro. That dude's heaps. Bro, I see him at the offices and we chop it up about the NBA and we chop it up about, it's crazy for me, bro. Like, it's like, wow, like James McKerney's another one. And yeah, it's pretty buzzy. Yeah. My life has gone from being a teacher in a classroom literally in December last year to being on a billboard 3 months later.
That quick?
3 months later, yeah. So I finished work December at my old school. I went down Taranaki. I came back. There was a billboard up in March.
Crazy.
March, April. Yeah. See, like, that's crazy, eh, bro? Yeah. I went from, like, talking to people on Zoom, like, just anyone that was keen, talking to my mates on Zoom to get podcasts going, to talking to Kamaru Usman or like TJ Dillashaw like the other night, or Bam Bam too. Like, you know, like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, bro. Like, yeah. And you know, like, even working every day, like, I get to rub shoulders with like Lisi. Like, I was listening to Lisi's music on the way to work last year, and then I'm like, having a pie with him.
He's your boy now, man.
I don't want to say he's my boy, but, you know, but he did follow me back on Instagram. No. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so crazy. Like, yeah. And it's all because, and this is like, are we doing the final thing, or is this, are we just keeping going? Nah, we'll just keep going. Eh? Yeah. But no, it's really crazy that the work that I put in for free, with no expectations, no money. I didn't get paid from none of the podcast stuff. I didn't get paid from bakery run stuff. I didn't want to get paid because I just wanted to get better. That's it. Like, that's all I wanted to do. And like, legit, like, not talking about it, just doing it. And there's so many people that want to quick, like, how can I get on? How can I make money? Bro, if you're good enough, the byproduct, like I said, if you want to win, all you got to do is just develop, and the byproduct from developing will be winning. And that's what I've done.
Yeah, I believe that, because we live in a day and age right now, instant gratification.
Oh, bro.
Give it to me. I want it now. I want to do this now. I want to blow up now.
Yeah.
But, you know, in saying what you say, it's quite buzzy. Like, I can't believe it. I believe it because the work you put in.
Yeah. And here's the strangest thing too, bro, is people are going to probably see this and go, I'm going to look at his Instagram, and they'll see, oh, I've only got 5,000, whatever it is, right? They go, he's on it. But it's not that, it's the impact. It's how much I've impacted, like, you know, from where I started from. And bro, my podcast studio that I had at my house was literally like a closet. Like, it just... And it was like a small little room on the side. It was like a side room that nobody had. It was like an office that was tiny. And I just set it on up, and I built that from there all the way to where I am now. And I don't know where it's going to go, but I know that I have the talent. I have the gifts that I work towards, and it will take me to where I need to get to. So, yeah.
Bro, that mindset, but that mindset, bro. That mindset is just crazy.
I just don't get why other people don't do it. Like, I'm like... And I kind of do get, because it's a lot of work. But at the same time, man, like, if you have a goal, you just need to figure it out, eh? Just figure it out and just go for it. Yeah. No matter how silly your goal is.
Bro, tell the viewers, tell the men who are like struggling right now, like, come on, man, because they may think, man, how does Tim do it?
Yeah, don't think it's an accident. It's not an accident. Like, it's, and I've said it a few times on the potty. It's this, like, I figured out what I wanted to do. I put steps in place, and I just worked hard at those steps. That's it. That's all I did. There's nothing special. There's no, like, oh, that guy met this person through here. There was no shortcut. All I did was figure out what I wanted to do, break it down, attack each thing I broke down, and then it worked for me, man. It's not that hard. And I had an escape plan. See, so I didn't want to teach my whole life. No disrespect, my bro.
No, I honestly believe teachers shouldn't be. You know, you know the teachers that have been there too long.
I feel like I'm killing your dream right now.
No. Don't worry, I've got ambitions, man.
But that was my out. That was my out, bro. That was my escape plan, right? Is that I'll build this thing up until all of a sudden I can get a job where I could just be funny, I could be myself, and then I can work from there. And it happened because I was just like, yo, this is what I got to do. I got to get better at talking. I got to get better at being on camera. I got to get better at this. I got to get better at that. And then I just got better at it, and I didn't care about the money. Yeah, and I used there was a time 2 years ago, I was working 4 jobs at once, right? I was coaching basketball, I was teaching, I was doing the podcast kind of, if you say that, and I was doing Uber Eats, right? Just so I could make enough money so I could save up. And then, I wanted to take a year off where I just try to grind it out. But I didn't have to do that because New FM came to knock on my door, and then I was like, cool. So, like you can do it. Like it's not you like anybody can do it. It's and it was funny. Like Joe Damon said that he's like, bro, if you can get Timmy on, like he kind of built it from nothing, and I did, and it worked. And I told you how to do it. All you got to do is figure it out and grind at it. It's not that hard. If you want to be the best podcaster, if you want to be the best, I don't know, comedian, whatever you want to do. If you want to be the best designer, bro, you just got to figure out how to do it. Yeah, I just found one person and I was like, how did he get there? And then I just go, okay, he did this, he did that, he did that. Sweet, that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to do it. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, bro.
Even in the midst of all those struggles and hardships, eh?
Bro, I tell you what actually did help me, bro, and this is going to be a bit of an asshole thing, was the pandemic, right? Because nobody had any entertainment, right? And I was teaching from home. And I was very good at teaching it from home because I knew how to make content. So I was very, very good at it. And then it gave me people wanted entertainment. And then all of a sudden, here we go. Here's some entertainment for you guys. And then away we go. That's how that's legit how I started. Yeah.
Man, it's
I was bored. Man. I think I was fucking bored. What am I going to do?
Bro, man, that's so clever. It's like you kind of find the need, like, this is what needs to happen. Like,
it wasn't like that. It just happened. Like I didn't go, these fools are going to need some entertainment. Watch me eat these pies. No, it wasn't like that. I was just like, I got nothing to do. Let's just get it done. Yeah.
Bro, man, this.
I think we need to wrap this up. It's getting too.
No, man. Just
sure?
Yeah, but babe. Jay, any last words, Jay?
No, I just wanted to acknowledge the journey, man.
I feel like I've made a fan in Jay. I feel like Jay is Jay's my new fan now. Do you feel that, bro? Pete was already my fan. He's been my fan since I was in high school.
I've been his uncle. I'm his uncle.
Yeah. But I feel like Jay's like, you know what, bro? I like this guy. You know? Tell me I'm wrong, Jay. Go on. That's right, you can't.
Couldn't say it even if I wanted to. Nah, man, just a beautiful journey. I just really want to acknowledge it. And I think the teaching thing for me it touches my heart. So I think to be able to see you do that, but not just move away from that, because I honestly believe that teaching, it's an occupation, but everyone's a teacher and you never really lose it. Once you're a teacher, you're always a teacher.
Yes.
So I just think big ups to you.
And bro, big ups to you too. You're very good, both of you guys. You're very good at what you both do. You're very good at what you do. And I think if you want to pursue what you're doing, use teaching to just get you where you need to get to, pay the bills. And then, bro, use your skills, bro. You both of you guys are amazing at what you guys do. I'm a huge fan. So, so thank you so much for having me on.
Hey,
appreciate it. Thank you,
talking
man.
Talking my shit.
But I got to admit, Tim, I'm really proud, man. Like when we connect the dots.
You didn't even know me, bro. Before I came in here, bro. What the heck? This guy, he was like, "Hey, bro, how are you?" And I was like, "Bro, I remember you from somewhere." Really? Oh yeah. Now he's telling me, "What? I'm proud of you, my bro." Shit.
I'm proud of my nephew.
Oh, not the nephew guy. Holy. Next one he's gonna be a bro. Can I be on the bakery run, bro? Bro, imagine how, before I go, imagine how many people ask me to come on the bloody show, bro. I get it nearly at least 3 times a week. People that aren't even random people that I met, or bro, I've had at 3 o'clock in the morning, bro. Dudes hit me up I'll take you for a pie, and I'm like, damn, bro, I don't get down like that.
Dudes are drinking 3 a.m. and they're thinking, you know what? Let's hit this dude up.
Here's a funny one, bro. I had a dude who was the biggest bully at school. I remember him. Okay, he was a bully at school. He messaged me 4 o'clock in the morning. He was like, "Hey, bro, can you get Kanoa on the bakery run, and me and you do the bakery run with her?" And I was like, "Bro, who the bro?" I haven't heard from you since you bullied everybody at school.
That's when you seen him.
No, you can't do that now, bro. I hit them with the chair, my bro, mean idea, and then that's it. That's mean, bro. I'm out of here. But yeah, I get some really crazy ones. Yeah.
Bro, man, you've been very inspirational, bro. It really is. Just your story, and very intentional. I love that you're intentional. But yeah, you hear like a lot of people say a lot of stuff, but you say it and you do it. And I think that's the biggest thing, and also the biggest inspiration of is individuals who really walk the talk. You know, and you're actually doing it, and you got some amazing goals, big goals, and bro, all the best for your endeavors, man. So thank you so much, Uzo.
Yeah, are you guys gonna ask me who you want on the show next? Is that a thing,
bro? Like, before we do that, we got a gift for you, man.
Oh,
so everyone that comes on, bro, we give them a caricature, a bit of a sketch.
Eesh. Holy! Look at this.
It's for you, my brother.
Holy hiccup.
For you, bro.
Eesh. Look at this guy. Who did this? Did you just? Brother.
This for you, bro.
Bro, I like how you made me skinny, bro. Like, you know, this is great. Look, you even got my eyes, bro. You got the Pounamus in there, bro. You got the Pounamu eyes in there. Che, mate.
Bro. Too much, my brother.
This is my uncle now. Che, this is my uncle, bro. Cleaned it all day. This guy knows me, bro. This guy knows me back in the day, bro. Far out. Nah, thank you so much. This is amazing.
All good, Tim. Thank you heaps, bro. But hey, is there anyone you can think of that could be ideal to come on the podcast?
I think Regan would be great in here, but I'm going to tell you this one person, okay? I'll tell you. Can I do a few?
Yeah, a few.
Okay. This one person, I need you to get on. His name's Spike. He's from Switted. Have you heard of Switted?
Yeah, of course.
This dude, Spike, is amazing. He is one of the smartest dudes I know. He has he's got a song, and it's named Bunga. And it is the most strongest song I've ever heard in my life. And I've said this to him personally. He is he's a great writer. He's an amazing person, and he's just the man. So Spike, if you're listening, bro, you need to get on this. Regan, Regan has an interesting story as well. He'd be great, man. Junior Farr would be another one. If you guys ever, if you ever need the link for him, bro, I got you. But yeah, I hope that you guys just keep growing bigger and stronger, and networking and getting people on, because you know it's an amazing space that you guys have here, and it's great that we can just be ourselves and build and break cycles that are happening in our society. So thank you so much, this is amazing, man.
Thank you, Hughes. Also, man, thank you. Please like and subscribe, and continue to comment. We'll look out for your well thought out comments. But any last words of encouragement, Tim?
Listen, I think be the change you want to see. I know that's really cliche, but everyone's going to moan about everyone wants to point out problems, and nobody wants to do nothing about solutions. And if you can't figure out a solution, you just need to be the solution that you want to see. Like if you want to see a solution, if you don't want to see something happening, you can act out and don't do that, you know, and try and fix the problem in your own circle, you know. I think that's the main thing, and don't be scared to reach out to anybody and say, hey bro, what's happening, brother? You know, it doesn't take long, but yeah, shout out to you, bros.
Thank you also, and as usual,
and
Jay,
with that we say refine, unlock,
and take charge.
Take charge, baby. Let's go. Shot, boys.
Band-Aid.